All right. Hi, welcome to the Gauntlet Con game of Dusk City Outlaws. I'm Michael Matthews, and I'll be the judge for today's game. I found online at Improv GM on Twitter. This is a Gauntlet game, so the Gauntlet inclusivity policy is in effect, and that will include going over here in a little bit, like lines and veils and things we want on there. Also, at any time the X card can be used. You can either just do like this in the screen, or the roll 20. If you just type an X in there, it gives you a beep. So that's a good way to very quickly get something across. And if we want, we can just introduce ourselves. I'll start at the top of my little thing for Zoom and work down. Philip, do you want to start off?
Hi, my name is Philip Rogers. Longtime role player, relatively new to the Gauntlet. Played a couple of games, even though this weekend is really up that number. Never played Dusk City, and excited to see what it's about.
All right, and Paolo, you're next.
Hello, I'm Pavel. I like role playing games, and I'm really curious about this game because it seems to be having out of props and papers and everything other than a regular character sheet. I'm really curious about it.
All right, and Lloyd.
Hi, I'm Lloyd, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Nice to meet you all.
That's just a normal day for you.
Pretty much.
So I just dealt you a couple cards. So Dust of the Outlaws, at its heart, one of the really nice things about it is the thing itself is designed to be a pick up and play. Like if you're missing someone from a game, like it's essentially created to do one shots really quickly. And it does a pretty good job of emulating the heist genre in some interesting ways. And like the actual box set and stuff, like it's designed to you hand out the stuff. When the GM decides which one they're doing while the characters are picking, they're able to look over some stuff, and then you're pretty quickly able to go. So character-wise, we'll introduce your characters in a moment. I have just dealt each of you 3 quirk cards, and what you want to do is go ahead, take a look at those, and then choose one to be true for your character.
Okay.
And then if you want, you can drag the other 2 onto the desktop and then delete them from there. I don't think you can do it from your hand.
I'm gonna find out. Boop. And boop. And then I can just go and there's my keyboard and boop and boop.
If my cartel didn't say that I'm conspicuous in some particular places, it means I'm not, or
Correct. It'll tell you certain places where you just being around will generate more heat, and heat is stuff that I can spend to do things to like add complications and make things a little more difficult later on. So yeah, if it already says you're not conspicuous someplace, then you don't stick out.
well, I'm just asking because the mummers. I don't see any place where it says that I'm conspicuous in some areas.
Oh, let me double check something real quick.
Or am I not seeing it?
What area are we in? Because I'm in Little Tawana, the docks, and the slums.
Well, you'll be at a noble's place. You'll basically be in a noble's place. So if you look under appearance, the last part of it will usually say you are conspicuous. Yeah, like the mummers. Yeah, merchant district, slums, and on the docks.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks.
If my card interacts with another person on the team. Should we talk about that now?
Yeah,
Or...
well, that'll also be useful for me to know because sometimes it'll be something like, oh, you know about this other thing that you didn't know about before, which can give you more information. So yeah, well, like the quirks aren't to be hidden; they're things that people should know about.
All right, one of you two is my sibling.
Oh, well, pick one.
Either one. It's.
Do you want to hear our backgrounds first before you go for
Yeah,
it?
we can kind of go over those. Also, what are the other quirks? Then we can introduce the characters.
I'm a disgraced watch officer.
And apparently, Oberon is working in a trading company job.
Okay, and what benefits do those give you?
I'm not conspicuous in merchant in merchant districts.
Okay,
And I guess I have a business job. Could be useful for this mission.
cool. That works. And for Lloyd,
Sorry. What were you asking?
what was your benefit for your quirk?
Mine. I know about the crown.
Oh, excellent.
In addition to things that I know about already.
Okay.
Because I'm a disgraced watch officer.
And then Philip, what's the benefit for the sibling?
When I help my sibling, I add 2 advantage dice instead of 1.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that's really good.
Sweet. So yeah, if we want to introduce the characters, like names and such, how you see them from what you got, it leaves it pretty open. That it's just generally sort of Victorian, essentially like a Victorian city in a lot of ways. There are a few sort of fantasy elements, like magic. Alchemy is incredibly common. It's used in a lot of building materials and stuff like that. Sorcery and such are usually a little more like against the law in a lot of places. So the Church of the Silver Judge will sometimes come down on those, but it is essentially a version of sort of a Victorian, tiny bit steampunky, little bit magic punk world that is very, very clearly inspired by the Dishonored series, as well as Blades in the Dark.
All right, I can go first if you don't mind. No one else can say.
Sure, go ahead. I was just like building the image in my head.
Okay. Well, Ethel was a refugee. They came from Vladimir during whatever, and they were taken in by a family and raised up to be someone who thought they were someone important within the world. As they kept going, their roots and their memories of the past that they used to come from kept constantly getting to them. So they thought they'd do something about it because they saw injustice happening to the people of the Vladov Empire when they moved in. They joined the City Watch to stop these things from happening, because having someone who was working within the City Watch, also on the Vladov people's side, could show there was peace that could happen between both countries. However, while they were there was a sting operation that they were basically told that if they did not lie in court to say that a person of Vladov descent had been responsible for this, they would be discharged on the spot and they would have things framed on them. They didn't do it, so they got kicked out. And when they got kicked out, even though they thought he had nothing, it turns out the people of Vladov did take him in, and the Circle took them in to help them work.
Cool.
And can you like sort of brief us on what is your character like by the family, by the cartel, and by the specialty?
Good idea.
By the cartel, the circle's mostly made of Vladov people from what's called refugees who came in from the Empire across the sea. They specialize in intimidation and extortion and protection rackets and assassination and the usual mafia thing.
Okay.
And I personally am a full-on brawler. I like to get my hands dirty. If things get wrong, someone's gonna catch these hands. That's about it.
Perfect, thank you. I can jump in next. I'm still trying to build it in my head. So I'm playing Oberon. Oberon is he/him pronoun. He's a man. He's from Mummers and he's a beguiler. Being from Mummers means Mummers are a cartel of con artists, stage artists, entertainers, and stage magicians, bards, everything. They live in taverns on the streets and wear very colorful clothes. and Beguiler means I can cast illusions as magic. So I think maybe I can cast illusion of this room after we steal it. I don't know. And I'm also working in the trading company, which which I believe Oberon maybe first started working in the company and then starting like training to be like a stage magician, and then he found out that hey, he can like imagine that those boxes are still here while he steals them, and then he gets paid on the black market for those boxes, and someone else gets to blame that these boxes assets are missing. So it's kind of like a double-sided job. He works for them, and he works for and he works here. What else can I say about Oberon? I'm not. Yeah, I think I got this card early. I got this card, but I discarded it. It was Stage Magician. I believe that with my illusions, I can do much better than a Stage Magician. So I believe I just like do the magic shows, pulling rabbits from the hats and everything, because I'm just like so good at illusions. I can just like cast it. I don't have to like really have the hat and like fake people that look here and then just pull something from the hat. I can just like yeah, hat, rabbits, whatever you want. So I think he was like really. I think he would have like a persona of like a wizard. He would wear like a pointy hat and have a colorful robes when he's performing, and like a robe, a pointy hat, and like a wizard persona, kind of.
Excellent.
I'm playing Davio Alonso. Davio was born David. He was an orphan. He was picked up by one of the families within the family. He initially started out as a runner, basically a jack of all trades. He proved that he was smart and capable, and he was eventually adopted into the family and given the name Davio Alonso, which is the family name. And his job is to clean up after everybody else and to make sure that the more violent and more energetic members of the family don't end up in prison. So he uses his head, not necessarily his hands, and he makes sure that everybody goes home at the end of the job.
Very nice. And here, who sounds like they might be your sibling?
Actually, because he's pretty much the exact opposite. I think Ethel might be the.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
So Ethel or Ethel?
Ethel.
Ethel.
Or Ethel. I mean, she goes by both Ethel or Ethel, depends. She's Ethel to people who don't like her, she's Ethel to people who do.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that they were probably polar opposites, and they were adopted into different families, but they were blood siblings to start.
Well, could we say, if you don't mind, that the person whom my family wanted to take the the person whom the watch wanted to take the fall for like this crime to was you, and that's why I refused to do it, and I lost my job for it. But I don't blame you for it because I'm like, no, fuck them. How dare they?
They had no idea that we knew each other.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me. And they thought, well, this is easy. You do this easy, right? We'll get a promotion. I was like, fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then my boss caught these hands, and then next thing I know, I was out on the streets.
And they're probably thinking you're absolutely crazy because, listen, all we wanted to do was actually run down one of these scumbags, and then for some reason she grew a heart. So, yeah, that works.
Excellent.
On my wrist, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, and then one last thing before we kind of get into the actual able to sort of play the game. So, as far as lines and veils, I'm creating a in the journal tab. Just a thing. I always put like a line on sexual violence. I just never found a reason really to use it in a game. Is there anything else we want to add? Either a line, which is something that does not come into the game at all, or veils, which means if it happens sort of off screen.
I think we could pretty much yada 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 anything that happens bad to kids. You know.
Yep.
We can make some assumptions. It's a horrible world, but yeah, we don't need to spell it out.
Yeah. So. Okay, so make that a veil. It's off screen. It's bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to add?
I'm okay for now. If something comes up, I'll just let everyone know. Be like, hey, can we put a veil or line on that? Because I'm like, oh no.
Sounds good.
I actually have, I don't know what to do with these two other cards.
Oh, if you just want to pull them out and delete them, or did you?
They're on my board. Just I don't know if oh, okay. I'll hit the delete key.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to find where they're at. Okay, so we get to a little bit of introduction and get some role play, and then also get you what the job is. And then the way Dusk City is set up is you have it ends up being split into phases. You have one for free at the very beginning, but then you start having legwork phases where you're going and doing stuff, and then you have planning phases where you get back together and now are discussing, okay, what's going on, what do we still need to do, and all this stuff works up until you get to the when you actually do the heist. That's usually where like all the kind of big huge stuff happens. For this particular one, there's going to be a total of 7 possible days. And the whole day-night thing, don't worry too much about it. If you want something to happen at night, but your legwork is during the day, you're fine as far as that goes. You can kind of hand wave that aspect of it until we get to the point where by the end it has to happen by the end of the 7th day, or the opportunity has passed. But it can happen before, and sometimes that'll affect. Like sometimes something's happening on like the 7th day. This one, for example, where if you happen before, it'll be a different set of circumstances than if it happens sort of during. But yeah, so those will come, and one thing it's trying to do is get you down to about 15 minutes or so for each planning phase. If it goes more than 15 minutes, at that point you add another thing to it, and that can be useful to have like someone keeping track of like, here are the things that we need to accomplish, and that can be done like in text on the board itself, or sometimes people keep like a little document. That way you can go through and go, okay, here's still the stuff that we know, here's what we need to find out. It is one where notes can help. Tell you what, do you want me to just create real quick a just like a Google Drive doc that you can use for that?
Go for it.
Sure.
I think it would be way too many windows. Just like create a journal file and give us the read-write access.
Okay.
I think it will be just too many windows. That's just my point of view.
Okay, so one of the things with that one is just be careful because only one person can be in actually making changes at a time. It is now available for everybody. Just said notes for the silver job. All right. So you've each received essentially like a courier comes and leaves you information about where you're supposed to meet for a job. And this is the fairly standard way that the cartels work. You are put together with the person who will then give you the job. That job, not only does a bit of it get kicked back to each of your various cartels, but you get paid out of it as well. One of the nice things is, especially because multiple cartels are involved, if one person gets screwed over on a job, the cartels have a real interest in coming down and kind of quashing whoever that is. They tend to vet their people. This gets away from that Shadowrun, oh, Mr. Johnson betrayed you. It's like that sort of standard thing. Like, you've gotten the information, so that person has been vetted. You should be fine. But you are to meet at Giancarlo's, which is like authentic coastal Elderland cuisine. It's a small restaurant, not terribly far from kind of where each of you live. At this point, we don't have to worry about being conspicuous yet. It's one of those places where a lot of the right kind of people, which is basically how thieves and cartel members are often referred to, they tend to hang out. So Giancarlo's is one of those places where you can often hear the kitchen arguing while they're making stuff, but the food is good, and the clientele often finds that at least a bit amusing because you have a bunch of power brokers and other stuff coming through. There also are private rooms. It's not an unusual place for someone to meet to get a job.
Mm-hmm. Can we assume that we know each other?
Yeah, if you want to, because you could also have met for the first time on this job, or if you want to know each other, that's also totally cool.
Well, I have to
Yeah.
know Philip's
Yeah.
character. Philip, what's your character's name?
You call me David. Everybody else calls me Davio.
All right, D.
All right, how do each of you arrive at Giancarlo's? The various like carriages and stuff come through. A lot of people walk in. You also Dunhaven has lots of canals going through it. So there is like across from it. Some people will take a canal boat, get off of it, and then go across the street.
Davio's definitely comes in my gondola.
Well, I think I'll treat my brother to a gondola trip. I've just finished a job and I had a little bit extra money on the side. And I thought I'd just show up a bit. So I'd like treat him to a gondola trip. Would that be fair for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't worry, our family's got gondolas, so we can get it at like a real good price.
Nice.
I think Oberon just walks, because for him this is like a normal day at work, just going to this nice tavern to perform, and and he like walks in. I found a really funny photo, maybe a bit too creepy, but he's an expert on illusions, like. So yeah,
I think that's fair. I like that.
Yeah, he walks in like all wizardy with a pointy hat and with something like a flame at his hand, and just like someone, oh no, burn! Oh no, fire! Like just like, oh no more fire! Just having fun.
Yeah, there's a point with the burning stuff, and then you see someone look and go, fucking mummers, and head back. The mummers tend to be the most outlandishly dressed of all the various.
Keep going.
Okay, yeah. So they're
I'm right here. Don't worry. I just get up. Keep going.
as all of you come in. There's people sort of just turn. There's always a quick look at for whoever comes in, partly to see is this one of the right kind of people? Is this a mark coming in? I mean, generally you're not supposed to do any business. Well, you can talk business, you can set up jobs on Giancarlo's, but to actually rob someone from here is generally considered a
Faux pas.
yeah. Bad things happen. It doesn't mean people are still used to like checking out as people come in. You'll see some people some others. There's sort of a tradition that there's like the end of the bar is a place to sort of wait if you're waiting for a job, and very quickly you see it's just the three of you.
Well, are you going to treat your older sister to a drink?
Oh, absolutely, because we're actually just absolutely in hysterics because the gondola ride, the guy was trying to sing "O Sole Mio," but he didn't speak the language, and he was singing "O Sole Mio" the whole time. So we think that this was the funniest thing we've heard in a long time. So we're drinking and laughing at the silly man.
And I mean, we will also offer Oberon a drink when they come to join us. It's only fair.
Absolutely, even if he is 3 or 4 behind.
Even if he's 5 or 6 behind.
Yes.
Yeah, Oberon comes to you, and we see like a third hand looking like a zombie hand, just like, why do I have to be working with you guys again? Hey, I'm like so excited to see you.
Oh, it shows in your voice. Take a seat, Oberon.
It's nice.
You're about 5 or 6 drinks behind. Time to catch up. Here are 2 pints.
Good.
I'm glad to see that you wore your formal attire.
It's a place where my kind of right people hang out, so
No,
I
it
don't
isn't.
think anyone would have anything against me being here.
Yes, they do. They always do.
I mean, no more than every other day. But
Yeah.
But that's why we love you. We love you because of who you are. And
Yes.
I couldn't think of anyone else I would rather be working with. I literally can't think of them. I've already tried.
I take it as a compliment, although I feel the very heavy weight of the sarcasm on the other end, but I will take it at the face value. I suppose we will have to work together for a couple of days. It seems like everyone else got the job, so
Okay,
yes.
at which point, when the door to the kitchen opens up and Giancarlo Hassan just comes out screaming into the back, "Get it right this time! These people need their food now!" And you hear someone yell back, "Shut up! I wasn't talking to you! And get your stuff together too!" And he turns and just and it's one of those things where like as he looks around the bar, like there's a second where it's still like anger is on his face, but then it dissipates pretty quickly. This is a fairly common thing because they yell in the back, and then he's got to like be all smiles up front. Looks and goes, "Ah, we got a special room for the three of you. You want to follow me?"
Yes, please. Thank you.
Certainly.
Of course, Noberon takes these two pints and puts a straw in each, a couple of straws in each, and then just like drinks from like 6 straws from this 2 mugs.
I go.
Now I understand why they're giving us a private room.
Yes.
I thought it was a compliment at first.
So yeah, the private dining room you brought into is fairly small, and like a place that is not for your kind of people. Tends to have fairly large dining rooms, so a bunch of people can sit down. But a place where illicit deals go down tend to have much smaller, cozier, and ones with that are a bit of distance from each other, so someone in the next room cannot easily hear what's going on. There is like some gaslight and such going as you come in at the table. It's Anatoly Kazgarov, who is a member of the Circle, who is sitting there. He used to be Vladov nobility, and like the thing he's known for is he's essentially looks down on everyone who is not Vladov nobility, and frankly half of them, as far as you can tell. But he does hold a lot of sway. Just looks at us. It just look at the three of you and kind of like nods head towards Ethel comes in, and then Davio, and then Oberon. Are you still drinking out of a bunch of the different mugs as you come in?
Yes, I think he just like stops and he like burps. I'm sorry.
I give the "what the hell are you gonna do" shrug.
Oberon, you come well recommended, and that is useful, but perhaps a little less drinking while we're discussing details of the job.
I was few pints behind, so I had to like speed up. But I'm good now.
Yes. Well, please have a seat. If you wish anything to eat, like he kind of motions, and then like a waiter comes in to take orders for food, drinks, anything like that. Because what the tradition is, you get the job and such, find out what you need to know, then you're left alone to sort of figure out, okay, what do we need to do? What should happen next? And you're usually given as much of the evening there as you wish. That's part goes into the pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, I have a job for you that is perhaps a tad unusual. I need a room stolen from Lady Melindra Vandergreaves. In this room, there are 10 silver-adorned wall panels that make up the Silver Chamber. The Silver Chamber is a very important part of Vladov history, something that we would like to have back relatively soon, and delivered to a warehouse in a nearby slum district. And as he mentions the name of the warehouse, it's a Circle-owned warehouse. So Ethel, it's like a safe house you're definitely familiar with.
Excuse me, have you said? Did you say a room?
In the room, there are 10 silver-adorned wall panels. Those wall panels are what we need, but she has put them together in order to essentially recreate something that is of great value to us. So I'm going to go around now, and there's a thing on your sheet that says, like, what you know about.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is, so, like, the way that the thing's set up for the judge, I've got, like, a bunch of different categories. Like, one of them is the Silver Chamber, and it tells you members who know about blah, blah, blah will automatically know this. And then it'll usually, like, for a little more digging, as you dig in, there's more information that you can get. So, does anybody know about the Church, Vladov history, or art?
Well, that's us. Vladov history expertise.
So, the Silver Chamber, this is a huge deal. The Silver Chamber is a work of religious art from the Vladov Empire. It's a small room with these silver panels. It was set up to be like highly reflective in a lot of religious designs that are a part of it. It's considered one of the most beautiful pieces of art ever dedicated to the Silver Judge, which is the main religion of the area. During the collapse, it was assumed to have been destroyed. Because like basically the Vladov Empire went through a full collapse. There's very few people left there at all anymore. And you'd heard a little bit that she has said that she's going to be unveiling it in a ceremony in about a week. So she said that she has recovered it. Right now, you don't know any more than that about it. Anyone know about nobles or elderland?
I know about art, but I think that was mostly what you said.
Yeah, you would have known of that from the silver chamber.
I do know the right kind of people. Would that kind of get you there?
Those are thieves and such. So anybody have nobles or elderland?
Merchants.
Okay. Another thing on nobles, do we have alchemy or security systems?
Nope.
Nope. It would be a tough job.
Entertainers.
Nope.
Yeah,
entertainers,
yes.
So the unveiling ceremony is invitation-only event. You've heard some stuff from it. It's supposed to have like really great food and drink. She's hired roughly 3 times the cooking staff that would normally be necessary for a party of this size. You've heard some little whispers and such here and there. Who knows about commoners?
Nope.
Nobody? Anybody have? Well, this will be the crown or Vladov history. That'll should be something that'll come up a little bit later. It's not once you meet someone, there's more stuff you'll know about. A few of these, so these are people you'll find out more about later. So a couple of those other ones will come in handy in a little bit. So at this point, these are the things you know. He tells you that in 7 days, what they want to do is get have these panels taken care of. Basically, you'll also get a bonus. They wouldn't mind seeing some physical violence being done. These are treasures of the Vladov Empire, and to have someone who's not Vladov recreate them, set them up. If something goes wrong, the circle doesn't mind that at all. They also like a little more respect from them will come. If you manage to take it during the unveiling party, but before the actual unveiling. So these are some things that you get, like basically a little bit of extra bonus thrown your way for.
Can I ask other questions from him?
I'll say at this point, like this is basically the information you get as you're talking to him, because he's got some of the stuff on there, but a lot of the other stuff you end up having to do the digging for on these. So he knows it's being put there. He's hiring you to take care of getting all those.
Is the bonus for violence directed at something in particular? Are we supposed to like beat the house stuff, or like, I don't know, shoot some guests?
Oh, then that one, just the circle likes to flex its muscle, particularly when it comes to anything to do with the Vladovs. The house guests, like the guests, maybe there's some nobility there that they're going to look down on. But I mean, in general, the circle tends to like it if you're a little more violent when you do things.
Yeah, I look at Ethel and I say, right people for the job.
I beg your pardon.
No offense, I'm just commenting you. We have the right person to do the job.
I'm not just an expert at physical violence, I don't just break people. I also have a very good dance step, and I look fantastic in purple.
Just
and the blood of my enemies.
sister.
I mean purple.
Thank you. Thank you. The first thing you do is look at someone and judge them. You know what, Oberon? Perhaps maybe when you started judging people, not by their looks and features, but more about the distinction of their character, people would like you more. Also, somebody's going to catch these hands.
Yeah!
All right, so as it leaves you, we kind of go in the first planning phase. These usually about 15 minutes, and especially the first one, if you've got any questions or anything. I'm not going to time this one too much. So what happens is after the planning phases, each of the characters is able to kind of gather more information, gather some resources. I gave you a little like a coin in your thing, which is your influence.
Mm-hmm.
You start with one for the entire group, and you also get one each. And if you do things that are really like risky or tricky, you can gain some extras.
Ooh.
But during the legwork phases, after you've done the planning, it's like, okay, I'm going to try and, this is what I'm doing to get more information or to sneak in and do this thing to help get stuff prepped. A lot of the first couple planning phases are often just getting more information so that you've got the stuff that you need to know for it, then it's not unusual to start like, okay, I need to get these things set up so we can do what we need to do. But there is and those phases themselves tend to go relatively quickly, probably so we can get it done in that in the time slot. And the big drama scenes happen usually at the very end, and it is possible for other people to help out on each other's legwork scenes, but each person still gets a legwork scene unless they're taking one off because they've been injured or something and they need to like get their luck back.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
And
question,
Let's talk options.
do we track our team pool of influence somewhere?
I just put a I put one right above where it says getting the job done.
Also,
Getting the job done where?
by the way, we're on the Clay That Walk window. You know that, right?
The what?
We're on the Clay That Walk window on Roll20.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry.
Yes, want to move us over there? That'd be
Yeah, I forgot to do that. Yeah, let's put you over
okay.
here.
I got you, bro.
You're probably wondering why you're looking at Minotaurs.
I was considering this.
Like, he said Victorian. I'm looking at a jungle and Minotaurs. Yeah, this one will make more sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, so like right up here, I put the one for the group, and influence. It says on your thing what you can use influence for, because each one can use it for something a little bit different.
Yeah.
You can also use it a lot of times to automatically succeed on a task by leveraging social connection or cartel resources. Use one to get like advantage dice on a roll. Can be used if you're in the middle of something and you just need a little bit of a bonus there. Those are generally how you use influence.
Okay. Thank you. So Oberon looks at you and looks at the siblings, and he says, "I think the biggest decision we have to make is whether we do it at the event for the bonus, or whether we aim at taking it more inconspicuous before the main event."
I think that there are a few questions that we really need to answer as a group before we do that. One, how big are the plates? Are there specialized tools that were required to remove the plates? Do we have to package them in a certain way, or else we will damage them? And after, just simple logistics around the job before we start to think about specifics.
I would say we take a day or 2 days to figure out as much information as we can about the thing, and then we can decide on day 3 if we want to steal it earlier, before the unveiling, or during the unveiling, or we do both.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
I think
Oberon?
that's definitely fair.
It appears I have jumped ahead of myself. I really like your approach. I just didn't thought about unscrewing it and putting it somewhere. That's good that we are together.
It's good to have you around, to be honest. I mean, your skills will be very valuable.
We need somebody to help us make it disappear.
And anyone else to work, it's going to be our favorite stage magician.
Yeah, I imagine that. I might look into my contacts and see who knows something. But so that's a very good point of view. Let's go and learn more about this silver chamber.
Silver chamber, yeah. So 10 wall panels. I don't know where to start looking, but my idea would be, can we list down what we think we need to find out, so at least we know what to do.
I've already put 2 things in the notes. Learn about silver chamber, size, tools.
Can we find out who installed it?
Okay.
I will put it as number 3.
Because if we know who installed it, we may be able to find out if we can find out easier ways to take it down.
Yeah, you never know if they like had to put a scaffolding and lift him up to the 2nd floor and move
Or
it to
any
the
of that
window.
weird stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it could be too big to go through the door.
True. Let's find out things about Melinda Vadonis as well, because she would hopefully maybe she has a specifically good reason to her why it is she wants to display this out. It can't just be because she tried to buy it. Maybe she'd be doing to try and get back at someone. Maybe we can find ways that she could use that she's not used those. Something could work with that.
Another thing would be before a presentation of something like this, especially if you're dealing with silver, somebody's going to have to make sure that that silver is not tarnished. Who's cleaning this for the presentation?
That's not true. We can put that under who installed it, because most of who installed it will be responsible for that too.
Oh, I'll say this too. Who knows? Yeah, Paolo, you said you know about art.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'll add. This is something normally for little legwork, but it makes sense that you would know it here. The silver chamber itself actually has a good amount of tarnish on it. However, that tarnish was said to have taken place like during the while things were fled. It's never been treated alchemically, and they actually see that the tarnish on the walls is like a sign of the silver judge's like a blessing.
Oh.
So the tarnish on it, like it is supposed to be tarnished, and it is actually supposed to be tarnished. To remove it would kind of be spitting in the face of the people who care about this.
Yes, I say it, of course.
Another thing would be, how unique is this? Are there is it are there 50 of them? Was it is it a
They'll
cultural
both know
thing?
it is a singular thing, and it's one of the most precious bits of religious artwork from the Vladov Empire.
Okay.
We can find out who's coming to the party, like who are the big names that are going to be there. Because if they're displaying it, there may be someone they're displaying it for.
Besides us and besides our patron, who else would potentially want it in case we have to blame it on somebody else?
Also fair. What am I missing? It's always something I'm forgetting to ask.
There will also be other planning sessions. So it's one of those things where when you come back with more information, then you're like, we're taking this phase to do planning, blah, 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 blah. We figure all the stuff out, and then...
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, these seems like good places to start, at least for 2 days' work.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I think, looking at what I have, I can tackle the size tools and who installed it. I can ask around, make a few contacts, speak to people in the circle. Whoever did this must be someone who knows about Velkov history and architecture, because I have to install it correctly, which means I can have a good in on that one at least.
This would work, but I've got conceal an object. Would that potentially allow me to investigate an object, or is that another skill out there?
Conceal an object is generally going to be more about like
Sleight of hand.
yeah, sort of the thing is, actually, as a cleaner, it also makes sense more than just sleight of hand, but also like, how do we get this when you got the Pulp Fiction there, how do we get this body taken care of, how do we get these things? I think that all fits there with the idea of the cleaner, so it can actually be bigger things than just palming.
Okay.
You would definitely know people who might have expertise in things like this, who might be able to give you a bit of an up.
Yeah, I think I'll try to do that. I'll try to figure out. Let's see. My sister's already looking for who installed it, so this might be a little bit more about the logistics of the installation potentially.
Sounds good to me.
I guess I will ask around the other bards and entertainers to learn more about this upcoming party.
Okay.
Nice.
And if you just let me know again real quick, where are the places that you are conspicuous in? This will matter on how much heat you're building.
I am conspicuous in Little Tanoa and the Merchant and Noble districts.
You want me to write it to you or tell it to you?
Oh, just tell them. I've got a little notepad thing. I'm making notes off to the side.
I'm conspicuous in slums and docks because from my trade, I'm not conspicuous in merchant. No, wait. I have to double check. Was it merchant or was it something else? Merchant.
I thought you said merchant.
So slums and docks for me because my trade covers the.
I'm conspicuous in Little Taona, the docks, and the slums. Okay. But it seems like if we have to end up doing something in Little Taona, the docks, or the slums, we don't really have somebody that's not conspicuous.
So when we go to it, might just like put up the Gucci Gang headsets and just rock it.
But as a cleaner, what I can do is when we're doing a legwork scene, I can not be involved with the legwork scene, and any heat that the entire crew generates, I cut in half.
Oh.
Yeah,
so so I can do that.
Yeah, so basically what happens at the end of each scene, it is like I go through end of each not scene but phase. I go flip the card, and it is one or two. Like basically one heat per crew member gets accrued just because of people looking into stuff. Eventually, someone might get a little bit of heat and might catch on. If you're conspicuous, you actually, and if you're in a place where you're conspicuous, you actually generate 2 instead of 1 per person. So as that starts to build up, I'm able to then use heat for you on there. But you're also starting out getting info at first. So it sounds like we can go into our first of the main phases. Mm-hmm. Why don't we begin with Davio? So where were you going to? What information were you looking for?
What I want to do is I want to find out about the actual plates themselves, the logistics of what they are, whether it's art or architecture. I want to try to find somebody that knows about it and pull that information.
Okay. Probably your best bet on there would be, you would know a bunch of merchants who are essentially collectors of antiquities, stuff like that. They're the ones who are probably gonna know about it. Mm-hmm. Besides, if you're looking at the contacts, you probably have.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you're looking just on stuff on the Silver Chamber in particular?
I want to look on the Silver Chamber, specifically like what it physically takes to put it up, what the size of it, what the weight of it is. Do you need a special screwdriver to take them down? I want to find out about the plates themselves, not necessarily the artistic value, but I want to know what it takes to put the drywall up and take the drywall down, that sort of thing.
So in this, what people are able to do is other people can help out. I'll tell you what the obstacles will be. Like this one particularly, you're just getting some info, so there's not a ton. As far as there's not going to be an obstacle, so having someone else there isn't going to make necessarily that big a deal. And everyone can be involved in other people's legwork without affecting their own.
Okay.
So what I would say is here, it would basically be just you can meet one of your contacts in the merchants. A standard roll, but I would say because this is being unveiled soon, so a lot of people are going to know about it, I would go with 3 advantage dice, but because you're asking some specific things you're looking for, 2 disadvantage to kind of look and see how much you get and if there's any other repercussions from it.
Okay. Does anybody want to help me out, or I don't know how that would work?
Yeah, basically,
I'm conspicuous there, so I don't think I can help you.
Nope. So I guess I will roll.
I think the other thing might be, does like as far as helping out, you said Oberon knows about art.
Yes, he knows.
Yeah, that could be a thing where if you wanted to help out on that one, it could essentially be like you're probably able to point him to some people who maybe do some underground art stuff that are a little like maybe more open to giving information.
Yeah, of course. So I wanted to go and talk to people so we may be doing this part together.
Yep. Okay. And I also have the other ability on the take, which is during a scene, and I can basically I could have a minor character be bribed to do something if needed, mm-hmm. And then I can use that again on the next day or night segment. So I don't know if that's the next day or, but yeah, it looks like once per day I can have a minor person that's on the take.
Okay. So yeah, that'll be per once per day and then night segment. So
yep.
Usually either two legwork phases or a planning and a legwork. Usually how that works out.
Okay.
Okay, so to sort of help with that, so what we'll do is if Powell's helping, if Oberon is taking a look for, what I'll have you do first, and this will probably reduce, because what did I say? I said two disadvantage, 3 advantage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically we'll probably have him doing it to possibly give you another advantage dice or remove some of the disadvantage dice. Mm-hmm. So I think with
So do you want me to roll something?
Yeah, so I think with you knowing about art and sort of gossiping with your gossip with merchants, which is 65%, if you roll that with I'd say 1 disadvantage one advantage but no disadvantage because you would kind of know people to send them to. If you roll that against your gossip with merchants, which is 65. Mm-hmm. Okay, so not only is that a success, there's a boon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one of those disadvantage dice, and then give you one more advantage dice, so 4 advantage. Yeah, Paolo, you know some people who fenced art in the past who have to know not only just about art but also a lot of things about forgeries, about how things are set up, how to remove things so that they're not damaged. You've worked in the past with a friend of yours that you're able to send them to. We'll go with Yuri, unless you had another name you wanted to use. All right. So yeah, there is Yuri, who's an art dealer that you can go check with. Yeah, so Phillips at the nice little shop, one of those out of the ways. It's one of those out of the way shops that are supposed to look like they're kind of nothing, like they're not going to pull a lot of curiosity. That the right kind of people have a tendency to like quite a bit because they don't have a lot of people going in and out. And nobody really questions it too much. But there's a certain thing about it that makes you go, yeah, this is probably a fairly successful fencing operation, and others, as long with the other antiquities.
Okay. And do I need to make a roll, or
yeah? So if you want to go ahead and make that roll while you're talking to Yuri.
How do I do that?
Okay, so do you have on the character sheet for you? Did you go all the way to the where it's attributes and abilities?
Let's see, character sheet.
There's 3 little tabs at the top.
Okay. Yep.
Under abilities where it says roles, if you just click show and macro bar.
Okay.
Then at the bottom left, you'll see like your character's name there, and then like a thing for roles.
Yep.
You just click on that. It'll then ask you how many advantage dice. Put 4. How many disadvantage? Put 1.
That's the challenge pool.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Dang.
well, the drawbacks cancel out one of the boons. That gives you 3 boons. It's a lot of information. Yeah. So Yuri's just like. So, you're not someone I've seen here before. Can I help you?
We're in town and interested in the silver plates. We're wandering around and we hear nothing but how amazing these plates are. And we're looking for some help a person out, somebody that's genuinely interested in what's going on.
And we'll say Oberon probably taught you like a hand gesture or something that kind of lets them know. Oh, and he's kind of spies it from you and just smiles and goes, come with me. I believe I might be able to pull some information on that. And it sort of takes you to a back room. It's like the Silver Chamber. What is it you need to know about it?
At this point, where everybody is in the know situation.
Yeah, this is a trusted, particularly with that many boons. This is a trusted fence.
I sit down, take out a notebook, and I go, "Tell me about the how do they feel like? What do they? I want to know the look and feel."
So he kind of pulls a book, sets it down, and as he's going through, these are things you find out. So the thing itself is they were somehow shipped here. Each of those 10 wall panels are about 10 feet tall and 4 feet wide, but they are relatively thin silver, so they actually are light enough that like 2 people can carry one without too much of a problem.
All right. So what was the size again?
10 feet by 4 feet.
4 feet. 2-person carry. Fairly light. Okay.
Yeah. He goes, now, you happen to be in luck. He talks about ways to sort of remove it, which, to be honest, is not all that difficult. There are places where it was designed to be taken down for repairs or some other things. It kind of goes over for how it like the back of it goes into the panels, how to pop those out, and how to do it without actually like damaging the thing itself. And the tools it needs are fairly standard. There's nothing special for it. But one thing you find out is there's this tarnish, and he points out like the drawings that you see has got like the tarnish stuff on it. And goes, you notice this tarnish, which is very important to the Vladov people. Some talk has gone around as we're trying to find some alchemists who would do this, but she is having an alchemist come in about 3 days to clean it.
Oh, okay.
cleans off the, it'll anger a great deal of people if she does clean it off. It'll make it worth more to people who don't know as much about it, but make it worth much less to those people who actually care about this thing itself. She's she has a lot of money, but one thing that she's a big fan of is art of different cultures. She doesn't have to understand it, but I think she's hoping that her house will be better. Their new money. You know how new money is.
Yes.
They need to find some sort of niche so that they will be accepted, because others look down on her because she does not have as much money, and when her family died, she was the one who was left with it. So she's decided to collect art from all sorts of different cultures and is trying to use that as what will make her stand out in noble society. She's bought a number of things here, including some things that aren't actually authentic. But if it looks like a cultural artifact, she's interested.
Really? Had she ever been, and in this piece in particular? So you're saying she does not have a discerning eye for whether or not something is real or not?
No, not at all.
Do you happen to have any 10-foot by 4-foot sheets of silver in stock?
Because I could see about getting something taken care of.
Price that for us, and let's know what that would potentially cost.
Okay. So I will say for this, it ends up being a thing where if you want to spend your influence, you could use that to have that made for you.
I think that we should keep that in our back pocket. That might be something that we can come back to. Don't necessarily have to pull the trigger today.
Okay. You'll probably need. I'm making a note. You'll want to decide within probably 2 days.
Yeah, just to get it.
Yeah, if you want that made.
Okay.
All right. Oh, shoot. And let's go there to Powell. What information are you going after?
I'm considering whether to go after who else wants it, or who's coming to the party. Yes, I think I would go to visit my entertainer friends and ask them which of their patrons have received invitation. In general, to get the profile of the guests. Is it like a very close party? Is she inviting like a ton of people over there? Is she inviting some particular people only? Yeah.
Okay. So I think with that, sounds like...
Yeah.
Cat's hungry.
No, cat's just old and deaf.
Yeah. So in your case, it wouldn't really. I mean, we can probably go with gossip there. I mean, you got to think with gossip with merchants, but it could also be around your other groups. So what I'll do is, if you want to make that roll, go ahead and add 2 advantage dice, because you'll know people who work who sometimes have to. You kind of know who has to figure out what they need, and then use 1 drawback die.
2 advantage, 1 drawback. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good.
Okay.
No bonuses.
Yep. So you do know Stacy is someone who works for a variety of the. She often gets things hooked up for the nobles when they need things like entertainers. Guest lists are often important because they want to make sure not only are certain people sat like away from each other if there are things, but also if people know what others' favorite like type of performance or other stuff are, they're often looking to curry a little bit of favor. So hiring a juggler for someone who likes a juggler is not a bad idea. So when she sees you, Oberon, still drinking more than you should?
Only today. I had some party with some friends I haven't seen in a while. I usually try to stay much, not so much.
What brings you in?
I was. I've heard that there will be a big party by Melinda. Can you like put some of her name? Because
Oh, Melindra Vandergreaves?
Round
yes,
degrees.
Or Melindra
Uh,
Vandergreaves?
yes.
Oh, yeah. That one.
Uh, I was just like curious if I can expect some job opportunities. Like, what kind of people are invited? Who will be coming there? Is like everyone, or does she have like very particular, very short guest list?
Yeah, she kind of pulls up some information and she's like, um, okay, so looks like a relatively simple affair. Huge cooking staff that you like a huge cooking staff that they brought in, which is a little weird. Yeah, you're looking at about 2 hours of pre-thing, people walking through parts of her mansion, looking at the various things. Entertainers have been hired for it. Then we start to lose some of our people because she'll be having people head out at that point. So apparently they're going to see something that she's going to be unveiling. But it looks like, and as she's going through, here are a few important people that they will be who will be there, and I will just also so you have the stuff spelled right. I'll put it there. So first, Janos Zakharin, and we've got like some of you know about the crown or Vladov history.
Hey,
I think someone else had the crown as well.
hey.
Okay. Yeah, he's an expatriate who fled into Dunhaven like just before the Empire's collapse. He was, unlike most people, granted amnesty by the crown. Like he kind of jumped something to get accommodations in the city and was brought in as a foreign dignitary, which shocked literally everybody. He's kind of slender older fellow with white hair. Just always seems kind of pissy. Very condescending to anyone who's not a member of nobility, though that's not hugely uncommon. Except here's the thing, what you know, he's technically a commoner. Everyone treats him like he's nobility. Yeah, so that is one of the guests that's there. A couple of the other ones, as it's going through, is Manfred Willoughby. Let me throw that in there for you. So, Manfred Willoughby, who knows merchants?
I do.
Okay, this is something you'll know. He's a middle-aged art historian. He's an expert, like knows a ton about the Vladov Empire. Really fussy and prickly. He's again really aloof and kind of a pain. Wears like these large spectacles to kind of hide the fact that one of his eyes is glass, and occasionally kind of drifts away. But his thing is he's knows a lot about art.
Okay.
Also, Lysa of Rotwood will be there
She's
as
alumnus.
well. And Lysa of Rotwood, anybody here know the church?
Nope.
Yeah, she's a church legate from Rotwood, which is a slum district in the north part of the city. But that's about all you know, all that he knows about her. Okay. And that takes us to Ethel.
I'm sorry. What was
Oh, sorry.
the merchant's name again?
The merchants was Manfred
Manfred
Willoughby. I put those in the Roll20 chat as well.
Oh, okay.
I feel like your answer with those things was enough. What should I look into now? What's important? I mean, I think it's that. Well, they also gave you information about Melinda as well, and we also know. Wait, do we know who installed it? Was it Yuri?
Oh, as far as you found out, it's people that she has on site.
Ah, that's what I need to find. So, to find out what I need to do, I'm going to go drinking around the same area as the staff members and try and get a few drinks of them, loosen their lips a bit, so they can tell me about the location and where it's been placed and all that stuff.
Okay. I would say I would go ahead and make a roll. Give yourself 1 advantage and we'll say 3 disadvantage. We'll say two advantage and 3 disadvantage, because if you're asking a little too much, like, you've got to be a little delicate
I think that's fair.
on these things.
Rolls.
And yours outdrink someone. Yes, you're basically getting a few of the people drunk enough.
1 advantage, 3 disadvantage.
Yep. Or I said 2 advantage.
2 advantage. Okay, gotcha. 2 advantage, 3 disadvantage. Hey. Hey, D. Hey, David.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot my own name for a second.
David, don't you owe me a drink?
I always owe you a drink.
Yes. Well, time to catch up. Let's go.
I catch up.
Cool. I'd like to ask David for help for my role, please.
Absolutely.
And how are you helping?
He's buying the drinks.
Sure. I'm the pleasant one.
I'm the drunken one going, so anyway, yeah, what? Where do you work again? I don't know. Give me all the spirit.
I guess the way that I help is she's going to play as the happy-go-lucky party girl, and I'm going to sit there and try to retain all the information that hopefully that they would be perfectly willing to give somebody that they think will not retain it.
Oh my God, let's do shots.
So the next morning, you're just like, what did I find out last night?
Well, actually, go to the mirror. You tattooed it on yourself.
Oh, good. No, I remember.
Okay. Yeah,
oh, was it backwards? You're in the mirror.
So if I get a second mirror, I'll be able to read it.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and add 2 more advantage dice to that. Like, are you looking for like guards? Are you looking for like who are you trying to drink with?
Gods, no, I'm looking for someone someone who's basically but she must have like a specific person who is putting these things in, like a head honcho that she's gone, you sort it out and make it look nice, whatever it is. Probably someone, he's probably Vladovian, most likely. And they're supposed to install it to make it look good. So they would know all the schematics, they'll know where the things are supposed to be put in, they'll know who's supposed to be on guard. They may know any kind of extra secret that we don't know about directly from there.
Okay. So you're probably asking around a little bit, maybe following some people from the place to find out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead.
That'll be 3 challenge pool?
Yeah, 3 challenge and then what, 4 advantage with the help.
All right, I'll take that.
Okay.
Not enough booms.
So you find Stavrock. Stavrock is like you kind of ask around a few people and find out is sort of in charge of the household. Takes care of a lot of the stuff for Melindra. At the point we're just sort of drinking, going. What kind of stuff are you asking?
All right, so you're telling me that you're in charge of this big whatever it is. Right?
It's gigantic. The whole place keeps getting built up again. It's like a maze. You gotta know how to get through the maze. Oh god, I know how to get. I gotta get through the maze.
There's a maze. You gotta get to the maze to get to the thing.
No, the whole place is they keep adding new wings to it. Like it doesn't. The floor plan is crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
No, that can't be right. Okay, look, I got a napkin right here, right? Just take the pen, and then just start drawing, right? Okay, so that's the entrance. Then it goes down here. Then what? You go there.
So as it's going through, a couple things you discover as it's kind of going through is one. I mean, the place itself is the kind of like rough map he draws you. And the weird thing is he keeps putting like names of countries in each of these rooms. Because what you find out is like the layout is not planned. The layout is people adding new things and then new people adding new things. But one thing that she's done is she's essentially made a bunch of these rooms to be like, oh, this is from Vladov, this is from Elderland, this is from all these different cultures. And she even has the guards wearing outfits from the cultures of the rooms that they're guarding when they have people there. So there's like a ton of different guards for that. But at one point, how many boons did you roll?
Only one.
One. He goes, here's the thing, and he kind of like points out in one place, it's like, this place is riddled with secret passages all over the place. Most people don't even know about them. I don't think she ever found them either.
Wow. I use them once in a while, get around quicker, you know.
I don't think she ever found them either. Wow. I think she ever found them either. I even think she ever found them either. I even think I think she ever found them either. Wow. I even think I think she ever found them either. Wow. I even think I think she ever found them either. I usually once in a while get around quicker, you know. have a few drinks, just be where they're not able to find us.
That sounds great. And you know what sounds better? Another pint. Hey, David, where's my drink?
And the other stuff you find out when you kind
Look
of
down.
Oh, okay, there we go.
when you kind of ask about the stuff with the room, he goes, "I haven't even. There's something coming. I haven't even seen it because you got people to put this stuff in, and then there's an alchemist put a veil, like it's like a misty veil. You can't see through it, and I was told if you walk through it, it's gonna knock you out.
Wow.
So she's
Who's
got
the
it. What?
Who's the alchemist?
Kind of like, um, he goes, it's this guy, uh, Cranner.
What's his name?
Cranner.
Prana.
Cranner. Kraner. Guy comes through. He's done a bunch of work on the thing before. I think she's used a lot to like make things sealed and okay and fine. But he set it up and he's been coming through a few times. He can walk through it. But he said anybody else just thunk. In fact, one of the guards right outside of it, tripped, went through it, got knocked unconscious. The other guy tried to pull him out, had to kind of go through it again, got really sort of dizzy. The other guy, like, there's like 6 guards in eye shot of this thing. The other ones came and managed to pull him out. They're fine, but it's
And
crazy.
none of them can go see through it or go through it as
Nope.
long as it's there.
Nope.
All right. And it's like around the room or just in the entrance?
Just the entrance. Like the entrance itself, you can't even see inside of it.
Nice.
And she was very clear she didn't want people to see it or do anything with it until it was set up. Hugely secret.
Double nice. I like it.
All right, so at this point, we've gotten. So I flip over the first of the cards. No one. I don't think anybody was in a place where they would be. Well, Ethel is in noble districts.
Oh no, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
I'll be conspicuous there.
yeah, to at least to find out where that they're from. So a total, actually, 1, 2. There'll be a total of 4, and I'll flip these over in a moment. Heat would have been generated. 2 total for Davio and Oberon, and then 2 for Ethel. So I got a bit of heat that's been brought up. I'll throw those over there. And I'm putting those kind of up above where the team influence token is. So at this point, do you get back together to do a planning phase, or do you immediately know what you're going on to for the next thing?
Can we do a bio break?
Yep.
Bye break. Oh, sure.
Sounds
I'll
good.
be back.
All right.
5 minutes.
Sounds good.
So is this your last game of the con? Very nice. Ah. I would love to play Dogs in the Vineyard. I can't even find a copy of it. I can find a copy of just about everything else, but yeah. Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. And all people are terrible people, especially when you have more than one.
So how, as I understand, you're talking about Dogs in the Vineyard. So how many people do you usually have at your table for this? How are you able to do it? Because the conflict resolution in this game is like so slow. How are you able to pull it off with so many people? Wow. Wow. I need to. Maybe I should run it again because the game I ran, I had some false fate. The guy had a son, and he like summoned demon to his son. So the son went to confront the dogs, and this was like a really long combat sequence. I don't know. Maybe we were too much describing. Maybe I think we should like. I really like dogs because it gets people into talking what they're about to say with every defense and stuff. But maybe we like. I think we probably like overdo it because people were like saying entire monologues for just 2 dice. Maybe. Well, there are rules for people being possessed. So I thought that this guy would just like not like knowingly. I think I had like some in the backstory that his son was wounded by someone. So I figured out that that he would be possessed by the demons, and it all made sense really. So Yeah. Yeah, I should definitely try running. So, what is your tip to keep conflict, the die rolling conflicts, really short and confined? Do you have some tip for that?
Hello?
Yes. I think I will
There we
try
go. I
to.
think. Oh no, I'm good again. I'm back.
I think next time I will say it. I will say to people, when you are saying something, it needs to fit into a tweet, and then I will try it again. Cool. Just a bit, as we are getting back to the game, I'm just really curious, Michael. Do you have all this prepped, or are you like improvising on the spot?
Oh no, the only thing I've had to improvise is just a couple names. This is one of the things like, I don't usually do stuff that requires a lot of prep just because of the nature of not only my set of skills and such, but for the GM, like you literally have like a thing like most of this the rule book is actually like jobs. They're on about 2 to 3 pages. So what you have is like with this one, like the ship job, it gives you like here's just the basics. Then each of these is like okay, here is one thing that you know, here's what you know, here's stuff you can dig into, and then here's like some things that are even further down there. So the nice thing is, I read it the other day and just kind of made a couple notes, but I literally have been able to run it just by pulling it out, while the players are choosing the cards, like choosing who their characters are going to be. I'm looking through and making a few notes, and then you're able to kind of run and go.
Cool.
So,
No more questions. Let's get back to it and chat afterwards.
Cool.
All right. I mean,
All right.
I own the game, so like I give 100%. Okay.
So, do you want to go to planning phase or straight into your next?
I feel with the information we've just got about the alchemist, we need to go into planning phase. How's everyone feeling?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So first off, let me know like if you want. Someone wants to describe like where you are meeting, like where this is happening. Something that is either a bit risky, like maybe you're in a section of town where several of you stick out, or if it's something that's a really cool like thematic thing, you can also get a team influence for that.
Well, can we meet like on a river festival? At a river, a mini river festival, like a small, or like a mini river market. So the gondolas are all parked up with like food that they're selling, and there's other gondolas moving back and forth that you can jump on and buy some food as they go along the stops, and then get some and keep going, and then park in like nice little like watery parky areas where you can stop and just have a bit of a meal while it all stays on the river. Is that thing that can happen?
Okay.
Sounds cool.
I mean, no one's saying no, so I guess we're having a river market, like a normal market, except it's on the river with gondolas that move back and forth.
All right, I'll throw another influence down there. All right, so at this point, you got 15 minutes for your planning phase.
And can you just remind us who was the Janos Zakarin?
Janos Zakarin was
Where are you going?
he is. Yeah, he's the expatriate who fled from Vladov, who has shown up here in town and has been taken in by like kind of everybody.
Okay.
All right, we're at down.
All right. Hello, everyone. Now that we're here, and I have a Victorian sandwich in my hand, apparently. Let's discuss.
Is it made from real Victorians?
Obviously, don't know. Let's discuss the alchemist. Nothing we plan on matters because in 2 days the alchemists will be coming there and they will damage the item. But we could probably use them to an advantage. I have an idea, but I need to know your thoughts on it.
I was just thinking that you do, do your stuff, talk with him, and
Well, yes, but no. That doesn't stop Melindra from hiring another alchemist. Now, if we had an expert on figuring out how to deal with their veil, if they needed time to study the veil, the best time to do it would be if they were pretending to be an alchemist replacing Kramer, who had just been shown my hands, go in, and while they were there, having someone else, maybe some other way, find if there's a secret entrance we can use in the actual location. If you can secure our entrance to getting there, secret entrance we can use, and find a way out while you're there behind the veil, if you can figure out how to get past it, then we have a way in, we have a way out, and we have a lovely old place where no one will notice us. We'll go to the party on the day, we'll go to the veil on the day, we'll take the item out on the day, and we'll be gone.
you realize we need 20 people to take this stuff out, and there's only 3 of us.
Yes, we need 20 people, but
People,
we can bring all
people
those.
I can get.
Yeah, we can get those people. We don't have to do it today. We don't have to do it in 2 days. If it takes long to the people, we can do it on the day. But go on.
I would like to throw things out there. I usually overcomplicate these things. Do we want to do this in multiple steps?
What, take them out one by one by one by one by one?
No. What I'm thinking is, if we were to replace the alchemist, which is kind of the plan we have, with our mummer alchemist over here, that we can definitely set the scene in the city that this is the obvious person to do the job. If we were ahead of time to get fake plates that were to simulate this, because clearly she doesn't exactly think much about what's going on.
No.
If we were to replace the plates while the alchemist was doing their work, and then say the alchemist has screwed up and has damaged the works during the course of it, then they'll be mad at the alchemist and not necessarily looking for stolen plates. Look over here. This person has done something really terrible to your property. Oh my God, I want to kill that person. Well, they don't realize we actually took the real ones out back.
That will mean that we're doing the replacements in 2 days. Can you get the plates and get the people to do the installation in 2 days?
No, what I think what that would mean is we have to figure out how the alchemist can't make it there in 2 days.
I think that should be easy.
Yep. And then, so if the alchemist doesn't make it there in a couple of days, that will give us a couple of days to potentially replace the alchemist, because there's not exactly an alchemy shop for her to go to. So if we set up our replacement, then that'll give us a chance to have the new ones come in, and then at the end there's a rush going on right at the end where the alchemist is doing the work. They're going to open the show, and that anarchy is something that we can capitalize on.
All right then. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the alchemist on the day, not the day before. On the day, take out the alchemist. Then they don't turn up for day 4. Day 5, there's a panic.
Yep.
Day 6, they hire a new alchemist who will come in on day 7. We do the swaps then. We then show the work, and then we get them to think that they've damaged the work.
Yes.
All right.
So we can actually walk out with the fakes, and then she, while she still thinks that, she's angry with this person for screwing it up, we can get it out and get it far away. And we got a couple of days to work with, if we just, punch the alchemist repeatedly.
Okay. Oberon, what are your thoughts on this plan?
That's really complicated. I just thought that we're gonna pose as the alchemist and use this opportunity to just take out the plates and be gone.
That could also work. The only problem is then would have to be able to get in and out with the plates on the same day as being the alchemist. Is that possible?
I mean, the alchemist will have an accident, and we will be the alchemist crew. I can be the alchemist. You can be my carrier guys who bring these heavy crates because we need some alchemy ingredients, and because we just need to like avoid being knocked out by this protective barrier, but they don't see what's happened inside, so we just casually replace them with whatever wood panel. I make them look for a couple of minutes as a silver plates, and we are gone by then.
That is a much simpler plan.
Yep. I think our next step though is we have to figure out what this protective barrier is, and whether or not it's a complete sphere, or if there are going to be holes in it. We might have to take things out through the ground, or things are a lot easier if it's not a sphere.
Don't forget, we have secret passages. There may be one leading from the actual room out, so we don't have to deal with the veil.
Yes. And one of the other things that whenever you clean silver doing stuff like that, you're going to deal with fumes. So clearly nobody can be anywhere around that does not have protective equipment. Otherwise, this would kill them instantly.
Obviously.
So.
Okay. So no matter what happens, we need to replace the alchemist.
Yes.
That's just a given. So let's focus on that first.
Yeah.
Day 2.
Well, we have two things: the alchemist, and then what's going on with the protective barrier.
Yeah. Does anyone know anyone who can help them figure out about the protective barrier?
Oberon has a luck while he's booting his character sheet.
I have no idea what that means. You have to tell me.
We see Oberon just, as he's loading his character sheet.
Oh, okay. You're like, hold on, I don't know. Let me check. Because if you don't, I might be able to get someone to actually know who I should be able to help, but I have to wait.
I think all of us know the right kind of people, so that's as far as I go.
All right, then. So let's just find the right kind of people that will be able to. Let's get on board someone who can lower the veil for us.
I will point out, you know the name of the alchemist who set that up and is going to be doing the stuff. So
yeah,
anyone's going to know.
We know it?
I mean, that's a good point. He would know. Why don't we just hire him?
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Why don't we meet with the alchemist to potentially hire the alchemist for another job? And then after they explain everything, you throw fists.
I mean, yeah, true. Or we could just hire them to work for us instead of Melindra, so they don't destroy such incredibly capable work. What? Paul, listen, Oberon. Listen, it's so much less complicated if we don't have to deal with the veil. The person that literally made the veil, we can go ask. We knock them out or we hire them. Which one makes sense, Oberon?
I'm fine. I'm fine anyway.
Are you sure? Okay. All right then. This time, let's go see the person who made the veil. Get them to talk, and then if we don't think we can work with them, they can catch these hands.
Actually, since we have a little time, why don't we order the spare plates? And what we should spend today doing is find out as much information as we can about this alchemist. To find out if there's blackmail material, but if we're going to potentially interact with them, I'd much rather walk in there with a whole lot of information rather than just threatening them.
I think that's fair. All right, so yeah, let's find out about the alchemist. Let's get the plates done, and can we easily get information about what the plates are supposed to look like? In case we are swapping them over.
Yeah, you've already seen some drawings.
All right, cool. All right, let's do both. We'll work. If we don't need Plan A, we can work Plan B. Plan A is much simpler.
Wait, I'm just like making notes because not to get lost.
Gotcha.
Day 2. On day 2, we want. But you said that we know who put the barrier. Like I somehow skipped this information. We know who placed the barrier.
The alchemist put in the barrier?
Yeah.
Craner is the alchemist that they're coming in to treat the place, who also put in the veil.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I somehow skipped that we know who this person is. So
that's why I'm like, we'll just hire him to do it.
Find out dirt on Craner. Craner. I probably wrote it wrong, but find out the dirt on Craner. Get fake plates. And what? And find a way. So do we want to like? So do we want to just have some blackmail on Craner, or do we want to learn how to avoid this his barrier?
Let's find blackmail on him, and also let's do both. We're not going to see him yet. We're seeing him tonight in the night phase, right? So let's find out how much blackmail as we can today, in case we don't need to knock him out, and then we'll work it out from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two things: find out dirt on Craner, get fake plates. Then then at night, we wanna meet with Craner. So we need something to do during the day and something to do, and two more things to do during the night. I don't know. What else is there that we found out? The secret passages. We need to somehow explore more about secret passages.
Yes.
So maybe one of us looks for information or dirt on the alchemist. Another one of us should look for information and dirt on the major domo of the house. You know, the butler, the person that's in charge of the day-to-day operations of the house.
Okay.
And then the third person orders the plates.
All right. Sounds fair to me.
Okay, so this is what I put for day 2. You can
All right.
check the notes.
I love it.
All right, so we'll flip that over. That's going to give me 5 heat because 2 of you are conspicuous on the docks.
Oh my god. Who's conspicuous on the docks? Which one of you guys? It's not me, is it?
Everyone except for you. You're the only one who's not.
Actually, let's see. So ordering the plates is a person's activity, and then looking up background on the other people are okay. So I have to do something this job.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate.
Yep.
And then this was just for the planning scene. Because heat's all every phase heat builds up, whether it's planning or legwork.
Okay, I do.
So yeah, so that was for that. Okay, which one did we want to do first?
Dirt on Krina.
Yep.
I need to Krina, what do you find from the alchemist that has everything? What would be the best plan?
Well, we'd want to find out what faction they're with, if they're with any.
That's a good point, actually.
Yep. We'd want to find out what family they have, whether they like them.
And then work back from there.
Because if they like them, we can threaten the family.
All right. In that case, that's what I'll do. I'll go and try and find out about him and what family he's in to work down. And I will do... What's the best way of doing this? I'm just going to have to go talk to them. I don't have a choice. I think I'll just have to go have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going after Craner the Alchemist?
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to find out how much they can from his people.
What's everyone else doing?
I'm actually going to go. I'm actually going to go interview people, or basically have conversations with people that potentially know the butler or the major domo of the house, and I will.
Okay. And for Oberon?
I guess he's ordering the plates.
Yes.
Okay. So getting the plates, just you can spend an influence from the group to do that.
Done.
And then so this is one where other people can also help out in other people's the legwork scenes, and we'll probably go a little more quickly through some of the legwork scenes because we're at 2 hours, just for time wise. Why don't we go ahead and start with the looking into the people at the house? So how are you going about looking into the head of security and the others? There's Stavrok, who you've already met, who was their head of the household.
Yeah, basically, I've got my contact list full of cleaning specialists. So in a household that size, somebody's sketchy. Somebody's got some gambling debt. Somebody's got this and that. And so what I want to do is I want to find out where that person is and tug on the string a little bit.
Okay.
and then pry that person for some information on the major domo.
All right, kind of sounds like just a straight up like probably intimidate somebody.
Yeah.
Like do your stuff to find it. I would go ahead and add 2 advantage for using the people and other stuff you know, and we'll say 1 disadvantage.
Okay. So that's 3 advantage total. Or no, so it's 2 advantage total.
Yeah, 2 advantage and then 1 disadvantage.
Okay. Does anybody want to help me out?
All right, I'll be down. Oh, where is it? Where are you going?
No, we're basically intimidating people around the house. Yep.
Why don't you let me take care of it, honey? You sit back. I got this. If we're intimidating people in the house, I'll take the lead.
In this one, you can't take the lead on his.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, you're right. Okay, yeah, true. I'll give you a hand. I'll show you how it's done.
So is that 3 advantage and 1 disadvantage?
Yes. Or with yeah with. Mm-hmm. All right, so there's that boon and drawback will cancel each other out. That 52 is well underneath. You intimidate somebody. You meet Janseth Montfort. Janseth is she's someone who's does a decent amount of drugs and is in debt to several people, and it's enough where you can kind of get some from the cut here, from the full cut that would be enough to take over her debt if you need to.
Okay.
But at the very least, like you are aware that she's someone who is compromised.
Okay. And what I want to do is I want to tug on that string a little bit and just pry information about the butler, from her. Is he on the up and up? Is he a stickler for the rules? Did he come from the best houses? Does he pretend that he went to a certain college but he really didn't? There's always, pretty much somebody that's in service like that. There's something in his past.
Okay. Her thing when you're trying to get into him, she's super nervous about it when you kind of bring this up because she's working for this fairly not really prestigious house comparatively, but compared to the regular commoners. He himself actually, she's like that Stavrock has been with the family since her parents were around. Kind of has control over the whole thing. Is trusted fairly well. And knows a lot of the secrets of the house. But her thing is she's not really aware of like a particular way in as far as through him. But she does say like, but he does occasionally like clear out parts of the house, and he and a few guards will escort some people in if they're talking sort of directly with Melindra, with Lady de Greaves on some sort of business. I don't know exactly what this is, but he's apparently trusted with whatever that is.
Okay. Not a whole lot there, but a little bit more loyal than I had hoped.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. Depending on what you dig into it, like sometimes just the hint of impropriety from nobility can ruin a reputation. Though you're not quite sure what's going on with these meetings she's been talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Want to go then with Oberon, or you're spending the thing to get the plates?
Yeah, I'm just visiting the merchants, saying that a friend of mine has been here yesterday ordering some plates he was thinking about buying. I just want to confirm that we need them.
Yep, because
done.
Not a problem. We should have those in 2 days. I'll go ahead and delete one of the influence from the whole group because I have a feeling all 3 of you might be involved in Lloyd's legwork scene. So Lloyd, what was it for Craner the Alchemist?
Yep, I'm gonna get some dirt on him. Gotta find his back. Gotta find out what kind of horrible things he's been up to.
Okay.
So I can use the blackmail. I need to find out more about him so I can take him out.
So as far as some obstacles here, this is one where people, like other people who are involved in the scene, can take out like specific obstacles. Here, he's got some guards who are pretty much have all because he works for like a lot of the like nobility and such. So he's got guards such not only around his place, but he's got a bodyguard as well. The other thing might be trying to find dirt. Sometimes the Alchemist Guild has a tendency to keep a fairly short leash
Okay.
on people. So because of that, or possibly some of the contacts there, someone might be able to find out a little bit of leverage while you go and talk directly to him.
All right, that sounds great. Yeah, let's do that. Everyone, let's split up. You get information. I'll go. I'll take out his bodyguard. I have no idea how this works. And then I'll just
Take out the bodyguard or remove the bodyguard from the situation.
remove the bodyguard from the situation. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because if we remove the bodyguard, then you can physically dominate the alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah, then generally, since this is Ethel's legwork scene, you like basically you'll handle the alchemist while the other people can get like the guards or help finding the leverage.
Gotcha. All right then. Well, which one of you wants? Which one of you wants to do the guards, or which one wants to do the leverage?
Let's see. What I can do is
Are we talking about guards like in general at home? Are we talking about?
He's got some bodyguards.
says you have bodyguard, and then there's like city watch or.
Well, there's he's got guards for his business and some stuff around his home because alchemists can do fairly well, but he's also got a bodyguard for himself. But they just count as sort of guards in general for our purposes.
Okay, I think Oberon would deal with the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if the dice, unless the dice say otherwise.
Okay.
So, are we like connecting this? So we are like visiting him like during the day hours, or are we like sneaking in at night? Like, what is? I'm just wondering what are the circumstances of me taking care of the guards.
We can say we're doing because there's no real distinction between day and night when it comes to actually doing a mission. We can say it's at dusk that we sneak in. How's that? Would that make sense for you?
Okay, so
Powell, are you okay?
I'm just kind of like losing in on all the details here. There are way more details that my brain accepts. I'm more into like getting the plates, put them into boxes, and ride out and jump through the window on the way out. Than like do this.
We can do this as soon as we find out about the veil. When the veil is done, we can just go there and get with the plates.
Yeah. So in general, I think that we see Oberon standing on the outside, just like looking at the window, and we see the guards inside are probably busy chasing some little critters and putting down some fires. There are like all kinds of illusion happening inside that the guards have their hands full of dealing with stuff.
Okay. So I would go ahead and make a roll here. Now, every time you use your sorcery, you always have 4 challenge dice. But I would go ahead and use 2 advantage dice on your use sorcery roll. All right. I am going to use that 1 drawback to pull in a little bit more heat.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be bringing that in here in a bit. It's F flip. Nope. And yeah, so like you basically got enough sort of chaos and such going on that the guards are rushing around. They're also not hearing anything that's going to happen in the room when Ethel goes in to talk to Craner.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as getting some dirt, what are you checking into for Davio?
I think that's you, Philip.
Yep. What I want to do is I want to somebody like this. There are always people in the neighborhood that gossip, I want to find one of the local merchants that is across the street that is genuinely near this person, and leverage that merchant to tell me what they know about this person that has their shop right across from their way.
Okay. Yeah, so you probably have gossip with merchants?
Let's see. I have gossip with merchants, and I have it's just business, which is I get 2 advantage dice whenever I interact verbally with merchants.
Okay, so a total of 3 with that 2 advantage and then 2 disadvantage dice.
Okay.
As you go like across the way to one of the other shops. Say an herbalist.
Well, missed it.
So one of the things you can do here, when you do miss something,
Mm-hmm.
you miss by how much?
13%.
Okay, so what you can do is take 20 luck damage. Take your luck down from 100 to 80.
Okay.
Then what you do is you just make another roll, but all you do is, in this case, add 2 disadvantage dice. The only thing we care about is disadvantage dice. Nothing else matters. And what that then lets you do is, it basically, because you have to spend it in tens, and
Okay.
each 10 luck you spend gives 10 points to your ability to succeed. So it would take you up to, you got what, a 65?
Yes.
So it would take you up to 85, which is because you can only go by tens. And it also adds 1 more disadvantage dice to the roll, but you can have a maximum of 4 disadvantage. So
Okay.
for 20 luck, this will let you succeed, but then you roll 2 more disadvantage to see what happens there.
So it's 3 and 4, right?
No, literally just roll, when you make a roll, just roll. We don't care about what the actual thing is. All we care about is the 2 disadvantage dice you add.
Oh, so I add 2 more disadvantage dice and then roll just 2 challenge dice?
Yeah, just doesn't matter what the percentage is, but just put 2 challenge dice. That's all we're taking a look at. All right, so that gives you a total of 3 drawbacks, one of which is taken care of by the boon. I think for this purpose, also, I'm going to use it to generate a bit of heat.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use those other 2, so some stuff will be happening here a bit shortly. What you find out when you're talking to the herbalist across the street, he's like, Craner, gigantic pain in the ass. He comes over here once in a while needing some specific herbs, which I've been doing this a long time. I know if you get these certain ones together that most people aren't aware of, it creates a narcotic. And he's always got, like, some of the lower rungs on some of these nobilities running to his shop late at night to grab small baggies and leave. I think he's stealing some drugs out of there.
Oh.
That's why I don't trust alchemists. You never know what they're giving people.
No, alchemists are one thing, poisoners are another.
The stuff he's getting is not poison. It's just narcotics.
Okay.
Hopefully.
That's good.
I don't know what else he might be getting, but as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure he's selling drugs.
What are some of the nobles that keep running in and out of there?
I don't see the nobles themselves. I just see some people I recognize coming around. They're wearing noble livery. You can kind of always tell who are the lower people on the rungs. But if they're going to him, that's not inconsequential. Like it's they're paying a lot of money. It's not coming from the people who are coming to see him.
Got it.
And she names a couple nobles, but they're not ones that are particularly involved. There's a couple that you recognize some of the livery of.
Well, this is good to know and something we can definitely search the house for because knockout drugs are always useful.
Okay.
Thank you.
And are you telling Ethel this while Ethel's going across the street? Just a thing you kind of on drugs, and then goes in. All right, so the guards are being distracted, and how are you going in, Ethel?
If the guard's distracted, can I just walk to the front door?
That might distract them a bit more because what were the things, Paolo, you said that they were seeing?
There were various amounts of small critters, rabbits, rats running around. Something was on fire, so they were like pouring water over it because this stuff is intangible. So they put a bucket on the rat, and the rat is gone. Where did it go? And the rat is over there.
Yeah.
So they're like.
Going through the front door is probably not the best idea because even with all this going, if someone walks in and goes through the back.
That's fair. He probably has a roof entrance, maybe. I'll try and get in through there.
Okay, just kind of climb up and then
drop down silently behind him if I can.
Well, he's got like a balcony up there actually, so that he sometimes is kind of able to go up onto. As you sort of head up onto that area, he's sort of at a desk like, "What's going on out there?"
I think you should be more concerned about what's going on in here.
Eyes get real wide.
Hello, Kramer.
Who are you?
Don't turn around. Make my life easier. We have to talk.
I have powerful friends. I work with a lot of the nobility.
I think that's fair, but your powerful friends won't stop you from dying, so I would definitely keep your mouth shut. Good boy. Now, why don't you tell me about how your veils work?
So, go ahead and roll your intimidate someone. Add 3 advantage dice, and we'll say 1 disadvantage.
3 advantage dice. 1 challenge pool. Yeah, I definitely beat my intimidate someone
Okay.
with 2 boons and a drawback.
Okay. So yeah, one of those goes through. Yeah. So as he's just, you've got to be talking about the Vandergriefs.
What else should I be talking about? After all, I know
Veils.
you don't just supply people with drugs. You also have an actual job.
I wouldn't call what I supply drugs. It's medicines. Sometimes people
Medicines
the veil.
The veil. Concentrate, please, focus. Don't be intimidated.
It's the only person that had me make a veil in a while. When you make a veil, it requires a good deal of time to create. There's an antidote that you have to have so that people can pass through it. It's able to be shut off, but you need to have the antidote to get to the place. Covers the doorway. The only antidote though that was made, she has, and she's keeping it locked up. Last time I went, she had to go to her study to get it.
Oh, now come on, Kramer. You and I both know that you keep a copy of something next to you. You're not stupid. What if the time came where you had to use that veil to your own advantage? You'd have a second way in, wouldn't you?
No. Think about it. If it was just possible to make an antidote easily, how much would any veil be worth? I mean, there's enough alchemists both in the city and among people like you that you could just make it easily. When you create the veil, you create an antidote for it at the same time, and it can take about a week and a half to create because everything has to be harvested in just the right way, and you can only do so much. It's what makes them useful is that they're difficult to make the key for, essentially.
And where does she keep this key?
Last time I had to go in, she went into her study. I didn't see where in her study, but she went in there to get it.
And what does it look like?
It's in a vial. Basically, someone has to take just a few drops on them. Soaks into the skin. That's all that they need to take. She's got, enough for quite a while, but she only needs it to the end of the week.
Excellent. Kramer, do you have any place you'd like to go visit for the next 7 days? Immediately, leaving tonight.
I'm supposed to go.
I don't think you understand the question I'm asking you here, so I'll ask it again.
I haven't been to my house in the hinterlands in quite a while.
I would highly recommend that you are there before the sun rises, because if it is, my face will be the last thing you see.
I mean, it could be the ground. I don't know if you'll see when you hit the ground, but you know.
Oh no, I'd very much like to. I'd like to look into the eyes of the people I take out. It's very important to me. I like. It's watching it drain out of you is what I really crave in life. I wouldn't want to make me an enemy. Make sure you're gone.
All right. So we get the heat for that. On that. Labor, are you going back to planning, or are you going straight to another thing?
We still got nighttime now, right? Before the next day.
Yeah, the next day is when she's supposed to have the alchemist come take care of it.
Okay.
Well, we kind of realized all we had planned, so.
Yeah, we've got everything together. Well, the last thing we need to do is simply just make a new alchemist rumor go around town for an alchemist that's just as good as Kramer, so they hire them.
We could do that as long as we know Kramer doesn't show up tomorrow. If Kramer just shows up tomorrow, then we got to go a different direction.
You'll be in a position to make sure that he's left because he succeeded on the rolls, got the boon. So yeah, Kramer flees the city.
Have you got the towels? You've got the towels, right?
Are you a hoopy
How about the
fruit?
plates? Yes.
Okay, then yeah, let's just go get the fuck. Let's go get it. Let's go get a thing. Let's do one last night of planning, and then tomorrow we'll just go get the plates.
He said 2 days for the plate. 2 days for the plates. So we'll
Oh.
I mean, we can just chill out at the tavern and wait. But I think we should do planning and then maybe.
Yeah, planning tonight. I think we've got everything done. Let's plan tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
Where are you meeting at?
All right. Okay. Where will not cause heat to everyone?
Mhm.
Not Latimer, not the docks, not the merchant district, not the noble district, not the slums. Okay. Where is left?
I'm thinking what is particularly in a heist mood.
Well, a really good place would be a rooftop over the place we're supposed to be heisting. Or like a small little house where we've rented out for the night so we can watch the home of the person while hunting people go in and out. Like a mini hideout thing.
Yeah, but she is in the noble district, so I'm not sure if we are able. I think yes, why not? I think maybe close to the mansion of Lady Melinda van der Greaves is some. I wouldn't call it a nightclub. It's like a place where you can go to enjoy company of the ladies, but not a brothel. I would call it like something like a Moulin Rouge kind of stuff. Maybe there is in this noble district, and we can just get that place on the roof with a nice view on the outside, and then this won't be open over there in the private booth on the roof, and at the same time peek inside to see the show. Guys, are you hearing me? Because I'm.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear any of that because my connection keeps cutting out. But keep going, you're doing God's work.
I asked because I've also seen the memo that my connection is getting weaker.
Yeah.
So I suggested a place sort of like a Moulin Rouge, where it's like a show, but there is like a place on the roof where we can like have a private booth and see both the show and look also outside on the.
Deal, let's do it.
Okay, I'll throw you it sounds like kind of a cool thing. I'll throw you another influence for that.
Yeah,
And
boy.
You got your 15.
All right, let's talk about it. Okay, David, I know you want to go through the long plan of working out and getting the plates and moving things in. But if we just go get them now, we won't have a problem.
Okay.
I think we need people to help move them, and we need enter and exit.
Well, we'll figure that out as we go along. We can figure out entrance and exit by pretending to be the alchemist to get in with the big box of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That will give us access through the veil using the blood. We get in through the veil, we swap the tiles, and then we get out.
Okay, so I suppose I should ask friends, our right friends, to create me a magnificent fake persona for the next 2 days, and then I can get hired to do it.
That could work. What about you? What do you think, by the way?
I'm thinking that creating the persona is definitely going to be key. We have to wait another day for the plates to show up. I can bring in manpower for a scene if we need it by spending influence.
Okay.
So when the time is right, we can do that. Now we're assuming that we're going to easily be able to get the blood to go through the veil.
If we're legit, she has enough to get us all through.
Okay.
As long as she thinks we're the alchemist, she'll be able to put it on us. We'll get in. We'll start the dismantlement. We'll say we're cleaning it. We'll put it back up.
Well, especially if the alchemist is going to need a staff, so we will go in as the alchemist assistant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm willing to game it if you guys are.
So
I mean, I mean, that way, Powell isn't yelling at us for making the plan too complicated, and your plan also works the same thing, and everybody's happy. That way, everyone's happy, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just saying sometimes I'm like losing the complicated details are eluding me.
It's fine as long as everyone's on board.
So I noted down create a fake persona, cool alchemist, and get some manpower. Anything else we need to get?
Well, do we want to wait? Do we want to go in and basically say, as a new alchemist, I'm going to spend the day assessing what it is that I'm going to do to make sure that we get in, and then the next day I'll come back and do the work. She can't expect you to come in the first day and just do it.
That sounds great. Let me go around and speak to the right kind of people to get you that. And then the next day we swap it.
And what I will do is I will keep the heat down, so we, for the scene, so we just don't keep building it up.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Oberon?
You were supposed to get the manpower. I'm not sure if I know the right people.
No, I can get the manpower, but we don't want to get manpower today.
Yeah.
Because the alchemist is going to go in twice. One to assess the situation, and once we know that we're able to do it, then the next day I'll bring the manpower.
Okay, inspect the thing.
Yep.
Oh, so create fake persona and inspect the thing. That's a cool plan for tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. And yeah, I can help you create a fake persona while you go in, so you don't have to waste time.
And I'll use my ability to tamp down the heat, just so we spend. It's just a couple of points, but at this point,
we need
helps.
it. Yeah, we built up quite a lot. Okay, right then. Plan sorted out. Let's do it.
All right, so who's starting off?
I'll go help create Powell's almost called Oberon's fake persona with the right kind of people.
Okay. So for that one, are you spending just an influence for that?
Yeah, I can just spend influence for that, right?
Yeah, probably an easy way to do it.
Done. Boom. Send.
So you're looking for basically like a highly recommended alchemist that specializes in security systems and such, or rather, delicate work with art. Okay.
And for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my time cleaning the scene, which is half of the heat from the previous scene goes away.
So did you do it from the previous, or just from everything that takes place during this phase?
The judge removes half the heat from the previous scene before adding the remainder to the heat pool.
So today's scene.
Just one scene and not the whole.
Yeah. So basically, I'm working today to clean up the stuff that we did last night, so it's not as bad. Because last night we got a bunch of heat. So if we added 6 or 8 last night, then it would only be 3 or 6, 3 or 4. That's how I'm kind of reading it.
Let me check it, because it sounds like scene and not like. Oh yeah, that was one big legwork scene where you. But
we need less points. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're my hero.
Oh, that we just ended. Okay, that was. I'm trying to remember how much that was.
Question to Ethel: does your creating, question in general, do we get already the disguise by spending the influence to create the fake persona, or do I have to create the disguises?
You're probably able to create disguises fairly easily. Or are you somewhere? Were you using illusion stuff to do it, or do you have disguise as one of your?
It's kind of funny because I have both on my skills, create a disguise and use sorcery. But I think since my sorcery is like
a little dangerous to use,
I think we might need like physical disguises.
Yeah, so the disguise it's less on this one. You probably create a disguise for it. He's just creating the credentials, is what it sounds like. So basically, they'll be coming to you as opposed to somebody else.
Okay, so in that case, I think instead of going to like inspect the thing, I think we see Oberon just like putting together the disguise, going to secondhand stores, buying some used anteaters, borrowing some costumes. We need to look like a professional alchemical crew.
Okay. I would go ahead and make your roll. Add no disadvantage or advantage dice on this one.
So 0 and 0.
Yep, not a problem. You create the disguises pretty easily. And that takes us through the next phase for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next day is when the alchemist is supposed to come and clean off the tarnish. Let me.
Cool.
So it'll just be 1 heat each in this case.
Mhm.
Or actually, 2 heat because Phelpsing was giving up the legwork scene to get stuff cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
So not a lot added on there. All right, so you going straight into legwork for the next one?
Yep. You know what I need to do? It's all up to you there, Oberon.
Guys, I'm good with selling that fake persona, but I need some of your eyes on the there to observe stuff. But while I'll be faking the.
Oberon, if you want my help, you can just say so. You don't have to pretend like it's necessary. You could just say, I'd like some help, please, Ethel. You are wonderful and amazing, and I need you, just like I need everyone in my life. You can just say that. That's fine.
Yes, Ethel and Davio, it would be fantastic if you could accompany, wear the costumes, get used to them, and I just would love to go there with you because in case it all blows up, I don't want to be there alone.
That's better.
I understand you want to get dressed in front of me. I'm okay with that.
I thank you. I appreciate your help on that one too. I can't though. I'm washing my hair. I can't make it. I'm really sorry.
I had to get the shampoo.
Yeah, sorry. Well, have fun, Percy. Hello, Percy. Bye. I'm just kidding. I'll be there.
So
Of course we'll be there.
Is this the one where you're going to be actually stealing it, or is this where you're just getting the stuff set up so you can steal it?
We've got to get. This is the going in and looking at the place and establishing who we are because we don't have the plates yet. The plates are tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we're not in the full big scene. So we'll have probably, if Oberon's going in, are you two also going in with him to help create distractions and to be part of the crew and
work the clipboard, explain how great he is.
Yes.
It's one of those dote on him. Yeah.
I think that Oberon legwork would be to establish who he is and just get others in there. I think my goal is we'll probably arrive there and just have a letter of recommendation, and Oberon would say that my good friend Kramer had to leave, and he told me that you have this lucrative proposition, and he desperately asked me to come in his place with my crew and do the thing he was supposed to do, and just selling that we will be doing the crew. That's my goal for this legwork phase, and then probably the guys will kind of look around, notice some stuff, if we haven't missed anything. A last moment checkout of the place. I think that's the idea.
So we'll have a couple obstacles here. The big obstacles right now are going to be both Melindra and her chief of security, who are coming. You've got also the servants such going around, but in this place, so it sounds like as people are sort of taking the lead, are we have anybody trying to distract either the Melindra or the security guards?
I'll work on the security guard if the rest of you work on Melindra, because I can goad him and being some kind of security guard you think you are. Come on, me. I can goad him where he's at. And if you, dear brother, could take care of Melindra, you have a way with women.
Well, one of the
That
things
was a lie. You don't.
I could also potentially buy that debt of that downstairs person and get her to do something like explain to the security staff that somebody has stolen her mother's, her mother's handkerchief, and that there's a thief in the house, and potentially get the security guards looking at a complete red herring, basically looking at this at the household staff rather than necessarily at the outside. But that's something to keep in mind.
I think we need it for tomorrow because the goal for now is just to establish us as the workers for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's establish us who we are, get in, look around, maybe someone will notice a secret entrance, maybe not, and then come back the next day do the big job. I think that's how I picture this.
Sounds good to
Okay.
me.
Yes. So as you come in, so we'll make this a bit of a drama scene because this can have some bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got
something new, drama scene.
Melindra and her private security officer are both there. We'll go with Gabrielle. And, as she meets you, because like, she had actually contacted you because of what Lloyd put out there. And Gabrio's there with you as she greets you. She's like, so I need the tarnish cleaned off of the silver room before we have everyone in at the end of the week. Gabrio's sort of looking over the three of you. It's like,
Of course. I had a pleasure to have a chat with, I forgot his name, Craver, before he had to leave town, so he kind of let me know about this. But I will still need to, if possible, inspect the thing tonight just to make sure, just to see how big it is, just to see how much crew I need to bring, because definitely I need at least my two crew members and probably someone else to bring in the heavy equipment. So if we could just like go there, see it, it would be like really. I could prepare for tomorrow, of course.
okay. Gabrio's kind of looking over. It's like, I think we're best if we postpone this a bit. I mean, your alchemist disappears all of a sudden. Something about this seems off.
Well, that's none of my concerns, but from what I heard, the time is of an issue. I believe there are 4 days to the big party that Lady Wondergrief is preparing. It might take me more than a day if there are other things. Postponing things would. I might not have enough time to finish the job.
Okay. So go ahead, you're making a roll against. Basically, doing a mental attack on him, which automatically gets a one challenge die because it's part of a thing for the private security officer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you another disadvantage die because he's just suspicious. Because anytime something like this changes when you've got something this valuable, he's automatically a bit suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the desperation and the time crunch, because trying to reschedule this would be super hard, give yourself 2 advantage dice. So 2 advantage, 2 disadvantage.
Does having assistance give him any additional credibility?
Yeah, it can. How do you assist?
Basically, I start to lean over and start to say, I need to do the calculations to make sure that we have the proper amount of material to make sure that we clean. I go, but if we put it off, I'm sure we could get back to this in another couple of weeks, sir. And I'm basically talking to the alchemist and just saying, we could get back to this, but it's going to take us weeks.
And I'll be like, I don't think weeks. I mean, we're looking at months. We've got the second one to go in the merchant district. We've got the third one to go on the Leafy side. I'm looking at the schedule. With Kramer gone, we're having way more work. We don't technically. I mean, whatever this is, it can wait, right? I'm sure it's in a hurry.
So
If they don't trust us, come later.
add
And I'll
one.
also try and help.
Add one. Only one person. I mean, other people can help, but only 1 advantage dice gets added. So yeah.
That's
So
fine.
now 3 advantage and 2 disadvantage dice.
And what skill am I rolling? Is it like lie to someone?
Yeah, probably with what you got. That sounds like. Yeah.
Good, because I'm horrible at convincing and I'm excellent at lying. I think 3 and 2.
All right, those boons and disadvantages cancel out. Yeah, there's a. So at this point, you haven't taken him completely down because he's got like 50 luck.
I can like boost myself. My Mummer ability allows me when you push your luck when making a mental attack. Can I push luck during attacks?
Let me check the number stuff real quick because usually pushing luck is if you failed.
I'm just
No, yeah, it just means you can push your luck. So yeah, in this case, what you would do is, well, no, it won't. That actually won't change the damage you do. What it
Okay.
does, it means when you push your luck under like a mental attack, convincing or lying. Instead of each one raising it by 10%, it raises it by 20.
Ooh.
So, because like the damage you do is what you rolled.
Okay.
So you rolled 41, so he had 50 total.
Okay.
So he's down quite a bit at this point. And as he also as he kind of looks over the two of you, I'll have him make his roll.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go one. He goes. Yeah, he fails on that one. As he just sort of looks, he's like, "This is it's a difficult job, and you're wanting to push it aside. If this isn't something you can handle." And you see he's shaking a little bit, but he's a little bit unsure. He's a bit more of a push.
Okay, I'm going to. Both him and Melinda are there, yes?
Yep.
I'm going to politely approach him, stand in front of him, and say, Mr. Gabriel, I'm the alchemist here. You are chief of security. I know my trade. What experience do you have in alchemy and such delicate work as cleaning silver? Like, this stuff is really delicate, and only the experts can do it in a proper amount of time. Besides, who else are you going to ask in this town? Who else can come and do it in time?
Okay, I go ahead and roll. Give yourself a total of 3 disadvantage there because part of his job is a security thing. I'll give yourself 1 advantage for the amount of time they've got.
I believe in you.
3 disadvantages and
One advantage.
okay. So 1 and 3. Oh, some interesting results.
Okay.
I'm basically like trying to convince him and also to like diminish him in the position of his boss. That's that he's questioning me to do the job. So that's also more of the angle that I'm thinking.
So let's get a bit more heat with that extra thing you rolled. That's all going to come to fruition relatively shortly. Yeah, he's like, I don't like it, but if they're able to do it. And Melinda is just like, I've got enough I can get you all through the fail. Give me a moment. And she kind of walk down one of the halls, and she opens up like a private study, shuts the door behind, goes in. And while this is happening, Gabriel is just kind of like glaring at all 3 of you. Doesn't seem terribly happy you're there. Then she comes out with a small vial, and you walk down. You go to a place where, as you're walking through this mansion, again, like you definitely see there's all these different places where you have different rooms that are set up to look like certain things, like different cultures, different whatever. The guards are all dressed in. There's each of those different rooms, like guards are dressed in different ways. The ones who are kind of coming around. But then you reach a place where there are 2 sets of guards that are kind of stationary in a hallway. They're caught there, and as you look down, you can see there's a doorway where there's just this like a mist, almost just kind of dripping down from something at the top of it. There's 2 guards in front of it, and as you kind of come down the hall, you can also see at the far end there's 2 more at another intersection. So she's got a total of 6 guards that have eyes on this entrance. So you come in. There is this bar that goes across the top, and it's been like alchemically treated, so the mist that comes down means you actually can't see through it. And there's not like an odor or anything else. But as she takes it, and she just kind of drops the thing on her own skin, takes a drop on each of your skins, and then onto Gabrio's. She goes, just give it a second to take effect. And then she just steps through the mist.
How fascinating. Every time I go through it, and I just like go through it.
I'll follow.
I go as well.
So as you head in, like, as you go through, there's this like weird aftertaste in your mouth as you're like, whatever it was, it got the mist in there a little bit, but like it's not affecting you in any way. you come in, like, the room itself, so you've got, like, these 10 panels that are kind of surrounding in the whole room. It's gorgeous. The tarnish that's on there is, I mean, kind of like seems a part of it. I mean, so those of you know with the Vladov history, that's a very important part of the thing itself. But these panels are fairly intricate. Some gorgeous bas relief work and such done on them. And we're in this place where, Davio, since you'd already taken a look, or you'd already kind of been told, you can kind of see the places where it would pop out.
Yep.
We'd be able to move it and then like unscrew it from its moorings that are behind. So, like, at some point, this was made to be portable.
I would look over and I would say, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the individual bath here, remove the piece, soak the individual pieces in the bath, and then put them back onto the wall. Basically, I'm walking him through that as a potential plan.
He's like, you have to remove them. We were told that removing them wouldn't be necessary.
If you want to do it correctly.
Kind of looks over at Melindra, and Melindra just kind of nods. She's like, that'll be fine. How long will it take?
If we bring actually I start to do some math, and I look over and I kind of I start to whisper to Oran, and I would say, if we bring enough people and we bring enough tubs, we could probably start to do we could probably do it half and half. Each one takes a few hours, so a day, and then probably another 8 hours to dry. We could probably do it from start to finish in about 17 hours.
Yes.
That seem about right?
I don't know. I feel like that'll require a lot of us. I mean, we'll have to get the whole crew in and bring in the truck, bring in the stuff as well to make sure it gets laid out, and then begin business. Are you sure? 17 hours.
That'll give us a little bit of leeway, because we want to make sure that all the vapors are completely gone before the guests come in here. We don't want people passing out during the cocktail hour.
That's a good point. You're right.
So yeah, but if we bring in everybody and pull out all the stops and bring in all the tubs and make sure that everything is done, we do it half and half. We could definitely get this done in probably 17, 18 hours tops if we decide to have lunch.
All right then. You know what? Sure, let's give it a shot. I'll schedule it in for tomorrow then.
I look over. I go, sir, is this to your plan? I believe these are how the figures are working out.
Yes, perfectly. And then it will be the best if nobody would enter here for the next 12 hours, because the air would be like slightly poisonous from all the silver bits, chemicals, etc. It would be the best and just safe for everyone. So, yes, thank you for your calculations. It's so nice to have competent apprentices.
This is why
it's good to be here.
This is why I gave up accounting.
Cool. I imagine that if you guys wanna, like, I don't know, spot something, roll something, that's the moment where we can turn it into your legwork moment.
Is there some kind of security in here that we're not seeing?
As you're looking around, I mean, between the 6 guards that have eyes on this room, or eyes on at least the doorway to it, and the fact that you can't pass through without being knocked unconscious unless you have the something from the vial that she took, like, her whole place is decently well guarded, like most nobles are. This room has got 6 people on it, an alchemical thing. Like, she doesn't need other stuff. You're not seeing anything else.
Sounds good. All right. In that case, I'm going to keep a lookout, see if there is a secret passage in here that maybe none of us have spotted yet.
For that, do you have something that would make sense to roll for looking for secret passages?
I don't think I do. I don't think I'm smart enough to know that.
That could be your everything else.
I think I'll have to my
what?
Move on.
That was the skill that we were talking about earlier, that I have conceal an object. With that.
Yeah, I think that would work. So there's definitely nothing in this room itself, but you might have been able to look while you're on your way in, or on your way here, to kind of see if there's the places where one of those things would be concealed. So I would make a roll and add 2 disadvantage dice to it.
All right, and so
I can assist on that because I'm there, and you're my brother, and you're my help.
Yep. So
how percentage?
Is that what I have 90?
Oh, nice.
Yep. But I was just wondering how many challenge dice we have.
Oh, 2.
So 2 challenge dice. Sorry. How many advantage dice?
Oh, none in here because it's a little hard to find.
Yeah,
Particularly
but I
when
can
you're
give you
going
one,
through it
right?
quick.
Because I help.
So
How? In what way are you helping?
Well, I'm also keeping a lookout. We're both looking out for it. He's taking the lead, but I'm like sort of shadowing what he's doing. Is anything else? I'm sort of like, what about that? Does that look alright? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
So one advantage and 2 challenge.
Yep.
I got a 6.
Yeah, you find one.
And a boon, and I beat that by 84 points. Does that help?
Based on this one's just like, do you beat it or
failed.
not? It's actually one where if you're doing like a mental or physical attack on somebody, there you want to roll as high as possible, still succeeding. Otherwise, it's usually considered just like you do it or you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually see it's down the hall and through this like side. You actually see like there's just a telltale seam where that's a little bit down from a corner. There's a painting that looks like it's probably been practically built into the wall. That kind of comes up and you sort of recognize, this is a good place. It's just out of the way enough that if someone was like having to flee, they could go around a corner, open it, and head through. Which is actually it's not terribly far from where you're at. Or from where the room is. Like it's essentially if you go down like another 2 hallways, so like one past where they've got the other guards set up, it's around the corner on that side.
Okay. Is it close enough that potentially we could put up our this is where the vapors could potentially be?
It seems like it's probably a little far for that. Like you might be able to get the people who are at the doorway gone, but when they're all the way down the other end of the hall, it's probably a little harder to say the vapors go that far.
Okay. But at least we have something to work with. Okay.
Yeah. A secondary exit can never hurt.
Yes, I completely agree.
All right, I think we're ready to the heist, boys.
Yeah. Can we take a break for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, not a terrible idea.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna get some water. I'm back to.
I used to love that game. Nice. Yeah, and apparently, what is it? Tobin's Spirit Guide goes for like $200 or something like that. Yep, me too. I remember buying it in the Complete Strategist in Manhattan. I was so excited. Yeah. When I was in college and my parents sold the house, I was just like, I don't care. I ended up not playing anything for 15 years. And I look back now and I literally had, if I had everything, I had multiple copies of everything because I had my entire play group was up there. We used it as our library and we all kind of quit at the same time. We had 5 Fiend folios, that sort of thing. Like we thought it was worthless, you know? Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Or not then like the original like deities and demigods and oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Oh yeah.
No sweat. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. Are we hyped? Are we hyped for this heist?
Rock!
Yeah! Yeah.
Okay, maybe not that hype.
All right. So you've gathered up some lackeys to help out.
Yep. I can spend an influence to get 10 family members.
Sounds good.
Done. Oh man, I wish I had more influence left.
There are still 2 left for the whole group.
Yeah, if you have something that you want to use your influence for.
If I need to, I can use it on the spot. I'll wait.
Sure.
Okay. So the next, you gather your stuff and then you head to the house.
Yeah, I think we put together some things like bathing trays that you can get for people that are gonna soak things that are large enough to hold the plates. I think that we're going to need a whole lot of vats of chemicals that could just be bleach that we buy at a store. I think we need some mops, gloves, disinfectant, basically a whole bunch of cleaning supplies, and a couple of things to make us look funky. Some goggles, which we could probably find either at a store or even at the alchemist shop, which nobody's at, and we'll just go take his own stuff.
Okay. And are you? Oh, are you taking the fake ones that you had made?
Yes, that's the plan, to have the fake ones hidden in whatever where we are going to pretend to be bathing in the real plates, and then just like put in the real plate into this pocket here, take the fake one and bathe it and put it on the wall, and everything looks cool.
It looks great. And then I bet Mr. what's his name, Janos, who is an actual Veldrov person, would look at those plates and be like, those are the wrong plates on the day. So then we double win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and feel free to beat someone up. Well, like I don't know, there is like a bonus for it.
I'm not going to just punch someone because I can. I don't need to. The fighting will happen when they see the whole place is up. People are going to go fucking ballistic.
Okay. So as you arrive, they show you into the place. She goes and she takes the thing and she kind of anoints your people. And you're able to kind of come in, get the stuff in there, and there's a lot of like sort of people looking up at it, kind of amazed. You've got the stuff sort of hidden underneath it. And you're able to kind of get to work and pop open a thing or two. When one of your guys comes back through, I am now spending all of the heat.
Oh no! Oh no!
So as it comes back through, one of your guys just comes there and goes, guys, we got some trouble. The church is here.
I'm sorry, what?
A bunch of church people came in, including some guards, some archpriest came in looking really pissed, took her, and then like went into a room like a little bit down the hall. I don't know what's going on, but like everyone's on edge.
Does anyone know why the church people will be here?
I have no idea, except that someone from the church was on the guest list, but I have no idea why. So maybe I should go and pretend to be talking with the client about something, whatever. And
you're all aware this is also her essentially having like the Sistine Chapel, like in like brought to her home, and she's gonna mess with it.
I don't understand.
Well, because like there's like if you remove the tarnish, what you're actually doing is you're removing something they thought was touched by the Silver Judge, their god.
Yes.
So it would be like getting the Sistine Chapel ceiling, putting it on your ceiling, and then drawing over it.
Yeah. It would be like taking the Shroud of Turin and drawing
and washing it.
Washing it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, one, I'm really proud that the church is really looking forward to like keeping like Velkov culture safe. Two, this is not the fucking time. All right, we need a distraction. We need to keep it away from here.
Okay.
Until we're done.
Okay. I'll go talk to them and try to. If anything, I will be improvising.
All right.
Good luck. We'll try and work faster.
Yes, just get more people in. Just replace them, and I don't know. I will just go and try to buy some time.
Okay, good. Good luck.
All right.
I will need it.
So, while he's going there, are the rest of you trying to get the stuff sort of set up?
Yeah,
Or-
like swap them over ASAP as fast as we can.
Okay, I'm gonna give it like a obstacle that luck. It'll take a little bit of time to kind of break down. What I'll do is during this scene, I'll have each of you kind of make some rolls through it, and what it'll be doing is tearing down the luck it'll take to get all this stuff down without damaging it, and you try to get the other stuff up in time. Okay. So, I'll start kind of kicking butt on that, and we have Oberon as you head towards. If you head towards the room that she's in, there's a couple church guards out there, as well as two of hers, who are wearing like Elderland costumes, essentially, and you can hear yelling from inside.
I'm not like listening in politely. I'm just like standing there, just about to ask the guard to like get me in, and just like as I hear some yelling, I look like I'm reconsidering if I wanna get in or not. Just like what are they yelling about?
Okay, I want to do something. Make a roll. Add 2 disadvantage and 1 advantage dice, because if they sort of find out or someone says something about you're there to treat the thing, that could get what you're doing stopped pretty immediately. But it'll also give you an opportunity to hear without hopefully being heard, or them knowing, letting the people inside know who you are.
Okay, what am I rolling?
So in your case, since you're I think this probably goes with your anything else, because you're sitting there trying to listen, but also you don't want them to say something or try to figure out what you do, because if the church finds out you're here to treat those, they'll put a stop to it immediately.
Okay. So what did you say about advantage and disadvantage?
What did I say? 1 advantage, 2 disadvantage.
Okay.
I mean, good roll, but
Wow.
Okay.
I was expecting things to be having to be forced to drop some luck on it, but
Yeah, so what I'll say on this one, actually, go ahead and take 10 luck damage from that. As there's a point when you're sitting there, and one of the church guys looks at you and is like, "Who are you? You don't like one of her servants."
I'm a friend of the house, as you could say. Just like don't want to barge in. I think that there's a important meeting going on. I think I'm willing to wait a moment.
Okay. What you hear from the inside while this is going on, and like you're trying to get like, don't sweat too much, don't sweat too much. you hear the archpriest, fairly loud, just screaming. Like the two of them are kind of in a scream match. It's like, she's like, I will take over. The church will take possession of those panels, and you will not touch them. This is property of the church, not here in your gaudy damn mansion. And then her thing's like, I brought them over. I paid for them. And like they're screaming in the thing. So it looks like the church is going to be taking control of the Silver Room.
okay, Oberon, this is it. This is your time to shine. Show us what's up. I believe in you.
I don't have. I have no idea what to do. Not a single one.
You could, I mean, a good idea to do would be to come in and say that you believe that the what's called a lady has treated them with respect, and you can prove all of it by having them all be given invites to the party in 2 days' time. Because that's you going, look, in 2 days' time, this will be unveiled, and you see that this lady has treated these with respect that they deserve. No one else will do it better than her. She's taken time and effort to make sure that no one's allowed in the room. They are safer here than at the church. Blah, 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 blah. Come on the night of the ceremony, and you will see just how much care and attention she has given to
Lie your ass off.
Yes.
Yes, I love your point, but are they arguing about who should have the plates, or whether, or are they arguing about that she shouldn't clean them? Because I got
No, it sounds like she said like the church is, what you heard was the church is going to take it over. They're going to be taking it from here, and she is not to touch them or have them treated.
Touch them treated. Yeah, I think if I can, yeah, let's go. I will barge into the room. I like politely just lead, just like knock and Lady Wondergrief, come in.
Yeah, at this point, you've got one of the church investigator. It's like you don't want to go in right now. You got to get through them.
Excuse me. I was under the impression that this is the mansion of Lady Wondergrief's, and what is your authority over here?
I say, Lloyd and Philip, have you both make a roll. Go ahead and add one disadvantage to it. This is for you trying to get that stuff sort of taken down and taken care of. So while that's happening, I would then make a mental attack, Pavel, against the security guard.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is yet attack or what.
You got a 17 and a 51.
A 17 and a 51?
Mm-hmm.
But we each got a
Disadvantage because fuck our lives.
Yeah, I think.
Each take 10 luck damage. This is getting nerve wracking.
Yeah, I think for my thing to be an attack, I have to like goad someone. So I have to like say, this is private property, and you don't have jurisdiction to tell me what I can and cannot do over here, gentlemen. So that will sound more like a mental attack over here.
Okay.
So,
make a roll.
Like
I would add 2 disadvantage because the church has a lot of power, and
Okay.
they're with the lady of the house right now, and the fact that you're saying that it's going to be a little hard to go over.
Sure. So 0 advantage and 2 disadvantage.
Yep.
Seems like a good roll, man. Goad someone is 80%. So
Okay. Go ahead and take 20 luck damage on this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a point he just kind of steps back and goes, "Please, by all means, it's your funeral."
Oberon thinks to himself, "I know, dumbass, but I'm getting paid for it," and I walk in. But I'm just thinking this to myself. I'm not saying this loud, and I will just walk in.
Okay. So as you kind of pop in, they're both kind of like red in the face. Like I bought into mine. Everyone's coming up, and the archbishop, she just goes, "I don't care. These are holy relics, and we are taking them." So then turns, "Who the hell are you?"
Make it good. Good luck.
Yes, yes, about that. I was just like wondering because you see, to take over a private possession, you need exactly to fill in the paper 52 and 71, and then you have to do this because this is a privately acquired property, not exactly a church property, even though it came here. I'm just like throwing a lot of legal mambo jumbo over here for them to like process who has owner rights. I'm just like trying to make like a distraction over the legal things to do it rather than who can do it. I'm just trying to like distract them into going about the legality of these things.
Okay. I would go ahead and make a roll. I would add 2 disadvantage dice in here because the church has a lot of power.
Sure. Oh, I think I have to push some luck on it because it's like a horrible failure. So I'm going to push my luck and spend a 10 luck to get it to work.
Okay. What was your percentage you needed?
I have 80 in distract someone, and I rolled
Okay.
84.
So yeah, go ahead and make another roll. But all we care about is just the 1 disadvantage dice you're going to add. Nothing else on that one matters. Okay. So two disadvantage there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment where he just, or she rather, sorry, sort of stops stares at you. What is your luck at this point?
My luck is 60.
60. Take 10 points there, and I'm going to draw another heat for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped out of the roll 20. I don't know.
Oh, did you?
No. Yeah. Okay, I'm back now.
Okay. Yeah. At that point, she just kind of stares at you, and she's like, "You are going to tell me what we have to do as far as the law goes. The church. I don't think you understand the position that you are in. So in this case, because of the archpriest's sort of level and ability, you take 40 mental damage from this one. Like she very clearly has a ton of power here, and you are in some trouble.
How much damage?
40?
Okay. I'm down to 10 luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So you're not pushed out of the scene yet, but if another mental attack happens, you'll be forced to leave. Like none of this is physical damage, so you don't take wounds from it.
I'm thinking what should be my next vector. Can't use sorcery here. Here doesn't make any sense.
And cast a fireball.
Well, you're thinking of this back in the room. If you want to make one more with the same 2 disadvantage.
Oh, come on. 2 disadvantage, right?
Or I had 1 challenge die earlier? 1.
All right, 22. I'm good.
That was 55.
And 1 drawback.
90. Okay. Up to 145 is what you've taken it down by. I'm going to say with that disadvantage, I'm going to add a couple more heat to it. As you kind of hear outside, there's a little bit of noise, and one of the guards who's outside goes, "Hey, what's going on? Be careful in there."
Sorry.
And the other guys that are in there with you, one of the guys who's helping just goes, "The church is here. We're fucked if they get us."
I know. Just keep working. We must be nearly done, surely.
Okay. Oberon.
Uh,
I believe in you, Oberon. You got to save the day. It's up to you. Good luck.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be lying to the authority that I don't understand, but it's amazing. I think I'm going to like build up myself and say, so you want to tell me that after you have taken possession of those artifacts against the will of the people, are you really willing to put the name of your church towards such a grand abuse of church rights, your eminence? Just imagine what will be the repercussion of such a violent acquisition. I know those are religious artifacts, but the private owners and the nobility, they are definitely going to fight back. It's really worth to put all of your holy relics over this like mess that will going to happen. Just imagine all those nobles who will clearly take the side of Lady Wondergraves because they are all nobles, and then the church on the other side. Are you really willing to put it to go through with this plan? Or is that kind of like
Make your roll. I'm going to give you 3 disadvantage dice because, like, the church has so much power, and there's not a legal thing in there.
yeah.
This is a huge uphill battle.
Yeah. I wonder. That doesn't make sense. It's. I was aiming for this to be like a goat summoning to like go overboard or something, but can lie or distract. They are all the same for me.
I mean, the thing is get them so pissed off at something, but yeah, which will probably definitely happen.
Yeah. So 0 advantage and 3 disadvantages.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you.
Thanks.
Well, could be worse.
Oh. This is what I'm gonna have that do. Do 2 things. One, go ahead and take 10 points of luck damage.
Yeah, I'm down to 0.
All this means is at this point, I mean, like when she's gonna get what she wants and get you the hell out of that room. But at this point, if like someone like attacks you physically, since your luck is out, you then will take wound damage. Because normally you got your luck. When your luck is all the way down, then you start to take some wounds. She doesn't even have to roll at that point. She's just staring as you're kind of going, like two of the guards come and grab you from behind, and she's just like, take the alchemist out. Turns and goes, we will secure the silver room, and none of your people will be allowed to touch it. As you're taken out, the guards kind of push you out. Let's have you two in the room make one more roll, I guess, as probably Oberon is headed back.
16.
79.
All right, so a total of 89, 95.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
The important question: am I like pushed completely out of this scene, or just from the room?
no, I mean just from the room. You can rush back. It's just that she got what she wants, which is to get you the hell out because you're coming in a young hit. So right now you're at about 65 luck left on pulling down this stuff. Probably when Oberon, you rush through
Can
and
we
like
spend some of our luck to push that up?
no,
Oh, darn it.
pushing luck just raises your chances to succeed.
That's fair.
I don't think Oberon returns yet. Oberon probably like stays in the first. I'm not sure how many rooms we are from the Silver Chamber to the room where they were arguing, but I would probably like stay in the maybe like a second one down the row, and basically I want to like stay in the room because we noticed some secret exit, and then so I want to like stop before the secret exit. So there's like a silver chamber, secret exit, and some rooms, and then they were arguing somewhere over here.
Yeah, but also remember these two don't know what's happening.
These two, which these two?
Us.
Oh yeah. I think I have a moment to get back to them and tell them my plan. My plan is basically to create the illusion of the silver chamber before the secret entrance, the secret exit, and then they can convince the guards that they are just evacuating before the church like takes over, and that we'll be using this passage which was shown to us to just exit the venue. And I'm just like creating like the illusion of the silver chamber like before the secret exit.
That's not going to work because there's literally two guards outside the one you're on. Like if the entrance suddenly for them is suddenly down there when they're the two that have been standing in front of it the whole time, because there's 3 sets of 2 guards who can all see each other down a hallway, and they're in front of each of those hallways, and 2 of them are in front of the door, the entrance to the silver chamber. It would be like me making a illusion of a door that doesn't exist in your house.
Okay, so I'm counting that as the church people are coming to secure the silver chamber, I want to create the illusion of the silver chamber in the room before us, so the guards in the room with the secret chamber have no idea what is happening. I basically want to like stall the church they will think that they are over there, and then
they can't come by themselves. She has to put the thing on. She has to go with them to give them the thing so they can come through the mist.
The thing is that they can't come and collect it unless she says it's okay.
Yeah.
Because they can't get past the veil. So until then, hopefully they won't be coming anyway.
And if you put it on one of the other ones, like they're gonna take them to where it is, and like she knows where it's at. The guards who are all like the 6 know where it's at, and she has to be with them
to make the vial slip out of her hand.
Drop it by accident.
You know, you think about it that way. You know, because they need the vial to go through the door. That's the weak link right now.
I'm out of ideas.
I would, if you check with them, they might be able to.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm talking include them.
Yeah.
I'm just out. Like nothing empty here.
That's fine. All right. Okay. We still need to get these things down, but the church can come in at any time, so we need to get rid of that vial. Where does she keep it?
Mhm.
Is it in the same room or is it somewhere else that she's talking to the people with? Do you remember? Is it a chamber?
She has kept it in her chamber. Yeah, she would have had it with it earlier, but there's a decent chance she didn't have it now.
We could, while you two work on this, I could run off, try and get the vial and smash it.
Well, we don't know this is happening.
He just came to tell us. He just said,
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that I don't want my sister to go out like that. Yeah, I guess that do you know what we could do? Can we fake an accident we've got cleaning supplies, we've got bleach, we've got materials like that, and we
I can definitely start the fire somewhere else in the mansion.
that also works.
Yeah.
Do that. It's a great plan.
Fine, and I'm just like grabbing some kind of like a trolley with the alchemy materials, and on the way to exit, I'm probably. Is there some place where the guards aren't watching, like some of the rooms?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of rooms that don't have guards sort of that are currently on them. It's just that like right outside there are, but there's a lot of the rest of the places you don't have guards directly at.
Yeah. Yes, probably I'm going to the room that is not on the path to the exit, and I'm going to just like spray the alchemical ingredients over the books, shelves, whatever, lit them on fire, and then just like go to the exit and it's like, oh my god, there is fire in the library!
it's a sign from God.
Sign from God.
Okay, and so what are the two of you doing while he's doing that?
Fucking getting this thing into the goddamn box.
Okay, go ahead and make the rolls, and I would also have Oberon, go ahead and make the roll 2 for the distraction. You're basically doing that to get the guards and such, the guards distracted.
Yes, so that's distracting someone.
We must be close, surely.
Yeah, but this one, last one.
So what are my disadvantages and advantages for this distraction?
I go ahead and add 2 advantage and 1 disadvantage.
Okay. It works, and it evens out.
Yeah, so it's, as you kind of do that, like a bunch of the house guards rush towards the library, and you see down there's a few of them run back to tell them what's going on in the other one. And you manage to sort of sneak out, no one sees you, set the fire there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I still need to be buying even more time for the church people. Are they like, have they started moving toward the silver chamber or not? Have they left the room with Lady Melinda? What's happening over there?
Yeah, so so you've still got the guards right outside because those ones are in a place where they're not supposed to move.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they are of any concern to us because we are still doing the legal work that Lady Melinda hired us to.
But I was saying for Lloyd and Philip, you're at the point now. You've got the stuff ready to go, but you still do have the guards right outside. You hear commotion further on down the way.
Okay, so so
No, I mean for Lloyd and Philip.
There are 2 exits, right?
From the room you're in?
Yes.
No, there's just the one.
It's just the one. Okay.
Just to double check, what is it that we're trying to escape from?
We have 2 guards outside the room.
Yeah, but we'll just say we're done and we'll just leave.
What we should do is we should start screaming about why did these people have us come and start to set up when they're not going to do the job? We could have had a paying gig, basically be angry laborers that just felt like they got stiffed for a day's pay.
Sounds fair to me. Sounds good.
And with the 10 people here from the family, I think that these guys would be really good at being disgruntled unpaid laborers.
No problem. But then what do we do after that?
Run like hell.
That is a great plan. I like that plan. Let's just go.
Yep.
We'll complain, we'll move, we'll grab our stuff, and we'll just go.
Yep, commotion. And, it's one of those where we scream, we yell, slam the door behind us. They can't exactly go in and check because they can't get through the veil.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go. Say this is ridiculous. We could have this is why this guy's a second-rate alchemist.
Can't believe he hired us for this rubbish job. Now here we are, nothing else to do, nothing going on. So frustrated. I just want to go home and get a drink.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is as you have your guys taking the stuff out.
Ideable,
Yeah.
situation.
So as this is going through, you see some of the house guards kind of running, but a group of the church guards are coming down. One of them's like, "Stop! We're not to allow anything in or out of this area."
How many of them are there?
5.
Good. No, not 0. I unleash.
You what?
Can we just knock them out? Just be like, I'm not dealing with this today.
Okay.
Nope. We've reached a point. Somebody's gonna catch these hands. We can talk about it. We can take our time. But it's a fire, and if they investigate, we're in trouble. Can I just take the 5 of them out right now?
Yep. What's yours, Basher? What is your
Brawler.
brawler?
My what now? My roller.
You're a brawler, or
Yeah, I'm a brawler.
okay. Yeah, when you succeed on attack against a squad of minions by striking, slashing, or stabbing, you reduce the squads by 2 instead of 1. Any boons you roll on that attack also reduce the squad size by 2 for each boon instead of 1.
So
And,
they're like,
And this is my sister, and we've fought a lot together, so I want to add my 2 advantage to this.
Okay.
and we've got those 10 people next to us who are also gonna jump in, get as many boons as we can.
Yeah, I would roll 4. When you make a roll 4 advantage.
All right. Any disadvantages?
No, this is kind of your thing. They're not expecting you to start fighting. You're supposed to be alchemists group.
I'll take that.
What's your percentage to succeed?
90 exactly. So I need to spend 10 to move that down.
And then just roll 1 disadvantage.
1 disadvantage.
Just make a roll and just add 1 disadvantage. That's all we're looking at.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 5 of them.
Snort the mood. Don't start with me.
Yeah,
Let's just go.
one of the guys is with you is just like, Jesus Christ, by the Silver Judge. At this point, I'm guessing, is Oberon, are you headed back their way?
Yes.
Okay.
I created the distraction, and I'm going to meet them.
Okay. So at this point, it's sort of taking it around. Let's have, if one of you wants to take the lead on sneaking it out without being seen by anybody. The distraction has been set up, so there'll be a good amount of advantage dice.
Psst, you're cleaner. Go.
Yep. Let's see. What do you think? Distract someone. I think
Or conceal an
I
object.
just want to scream. What I want to scream is the house guards are attacking the church guards. So this household is full of traitors.
All right.
I like that.
Do you rush up by where the archpriest and them are to yell that?
Yes.
That sounds like that would work to get people immediately cause ruckus. Make a roll. Give yourself, especially since if they look back and see all of the unconscious bodies, give yourself 3 advantage dice and 1 disadvantage.
Okay.
Yep. There's a point. There's a dude who just seemed like a scribe or something next to the archpriest who immediately goes and has got a dagger up the sleeve and is right at Melisandre's throat like that. That dude was clearly an assassin, and church assassins are terrifying. As the captain of the guards says, "There's no," and then immediately they're worried more about the guards than this group of alchemists that are now taking the stuff and opening up that secret passage and then hauling your ass out.
Yep.
All right, so it takes a little while to find your way through the secret passages because, like the rest of the house, it was sort of made incredibly piecemeal and all thrown together. But you do end up finding your way like a little further away than you thought. You come up in the basement of like what looks to be almost like a permanently shuttered home in a slum district that's nearby.
Oh, we should have known that earlier. That could have been much easier. Oh well. Shall we get the hell out of here?
Let's get the hell out of here.
All right, let's go deliver this stuff to the warehouse and then just wait till 2 days' time and see the fireworks.
Not to mention, you did give the bonus violence.
Yeah!
All right.
It does get more violent by having the church itself come and fight her.
Yep.
Yeah. So the city watch comes and arrests a ton of people inside. It's going to be a little while before the tales of the alchemist group kind of gets out. So there's a nice bit of confusion. You kind of keep you keep a little bit low for a bit, but as you keep your ear to the ground, while eventually it is she's sort of cleared. It does turn out that her family actually has like a lot of crime in its background. Sort of how it gets there. She, as a noble in the town, is essentially ruined, and the amount of money it takes for having lost this enormously expensive and very important religious artifact has essentially made the Vandergrieve household like absolutely nothing in this town.
Oops.
I feel bad, but it was a job, man. Sorry.
Yep.
And that's worth enough that y'all are sitting pretty, a lot of money, and not having to take jobs for a little while, unless you feel like it. It's nice to have options.
Absolutely.
Nice work, everyone.
And end the game.
All right. Woo!
That was close.
Yep.
I know it was a little touch and go there at the end, but then I just punched some people and the problem was solved. Not as any good mission should go.
Usually, if I run this at home, each job takes about 2 days because we actually let the legwork scenes play out a lot more, and we get to kind of let that take longer. But we're running low. We're down to about 15 minutes, so
That sounds fair.
we had to push that towards the end.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you
man,
very much for
got to
running.
the end. Thank you very much for running.
Thank you all for playing.
Thanks. Really interesting. I have to look. Is it possible to still purchase the game somewhere?
Yeah, it's absolutely
I got my
possible.
copy.
Yeah, you know, I'm on the other side. There's side of the ocean. Shipping here is like really expensive.
Bruh, are you in America or in Europe? Because I'm in
Europe.
Yeah, I got mine online. It was...
They've done well enough because it's the same guy that did
Spectaculars?
Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh, yes. It. Like, if I can afford it, anyone can afford it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, just I already checked that the major stores in my country don't have it, so I'll have to probably like check Amazon or something.
Amazon, I don't know about Amazon. But honestly, check the actual website owned by the guy who made it. He could be having it there for cheap.
Yeah, I will check it out because I think it's really worth it to get it for the missions because they seem like something that I would never prepare.
True. I'll give you that.
I've found it for sale at most conventions too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good presence.
And their
not as
upcoming
big
ones,
as I'd like it to be,
Spectaculars,
but
I've been
not bad.
running.
I need to get into that too. I've got that coming as well from the Kickstarter. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
I think I found where it's got its limitations for me, but I very much enjoyed what we built up because I ran about 2-3 months of it on the Gauntlet.
So what do you mean the limitation?
Oh, for Spectaculars is their second one, which is the way this is designed for one shots. That's kind of designed to be able to do campaign play where you're kind of creating your own it's almost like a comic book company you're creating because you can actually switch between street level like characters can be created very quickly and the basic chassis of the engine is the same as this though it's got some differences but you can go from street level to like Fantastic Four / Avengers style to cosmic to magic and it's basically each one of those is a campaign with like 30 I think it's like with 30 adventures but it's very much like old comics where it's like you have usually a combat encounter, a bit of like looking into things, some personal scenes, another combat encounter, combat. And that's like sort of each one of those, which we altered and changed some stuff. We did some really cool things, but between, for me, like constant fights happening when it's like we shouldn't. This one shouldn't be a fight probably, and it would lead to places that would make further adventures that are on the thing not really work. And it's one where I could kind of keep going, but it's also the gauntlets drop in, drop out of the table meant that the consistency was real low for some of the things I really like. So with a home group, I still had fun with it. With a home group, taking it a lot further would still be kind of fun, but I'd stop using much of the adventure stuff and more just taking a basic idea from it and then going off in totally different places.
Mm.
Cool. But if you like that type of encounter thing, it works real well. It was just getting a little samey for me. But it does cool stuff. Does some really cool stuff.
Cool. Thanks. It was nice to play with you. It was nice to learn a new game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it. The Gauntlet Con is probably. I think there are still some games, but it's done for me.
For me too, it's done. I can go to sleep now.
Yeah, it's late. I got one coming up in an hour.
Oh my god, what are you playing?
Hearts of Wulin.
Oh man, that's a great game.
Which I was supposed to play last year during Gauntlet Con, but my computer literally died 10 minutes in, and then half an hour after that, my new computer got delivered. So like by the time I got it all set up and everything done, like it was finishing. It was literally that day.
Nice.
Ah.
Right. I will see y'all later. Bye, Paul. Bye, Matthew. Bye, Philip. Nice to meet you,
Bye.
Philip.
It was nice meeting you. I'd love to
Nice to
play
meet
with you
you.
again sometime. Have a
All
good
right.
one, guys.
Have a good one.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.